testimonials questions. So please make sure you don't miss that opportunity. The sections are going to be in twofold. So we are going to be having two speakers from the UK, from Canada, and talking about US also, opportunities in the US. And we are also going to be having those who are going to be sharing their testimonies, those who have been part of this program before, and they've had opportunity to get admission, get funding, get scholarship, and they're going to be sharing their experience. So you have opportunity to meet with them. And the special thing about this year's program is that we are going to be, the SASP is going to be financially supporting selected participants, to help them with their application fee. We're going to talk more about application fee. One of the speakers is going to talk about that. So because you likely need to submit an application fee with your application if you're applying to schools, maybe in US, Canada, and maybe some other countries like that. So this program is going to be sponsoring some selected candidates. That is the special thing about this year's own. I don't know those who are excited about that. So I want to take advantage of that opportunity. So wherever you are, if you have friends who register for this program, please DM them, send a message that the program is starting already. So you want to pay attention, you want to have your maximum attention in the program like this. This is not a time to juggle a lot of things together. Your maximum attention is needed because any information can come at any time and you need to put down. So once again, you are welcome, everyone. If you are here and you are excited about it, just use any emoji in the DM, in the chat box, in the smiley section. Just let us know that you are here. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of popping up and excitement. Yes, so get ready. It's really going to be an awesome moment together. So I'm going to hand over to David as the takeover, and we have the first speaker. Over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have I'm trying to send out the new URL for the YouTube so that everyone can join, because the idea is for us to be able to reach as many people as possible. So I will just do that in one moment, and then because I want everyone on YouTube to also be able to start with us and with our first speaker. So it will take me 2 minutes to do that. Yes. Apologies for that. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. It's nice to have every one of us here, and we're excited to have everyone. We're excited to share with you as much information as we want to share, and we would go straight into it. We would not be wasting so much time. We'll be sharing more details about some other things that we have planned out for this event. But I will start with, according to our schedule, we are at the point where we introduce our first speaker. And I'll just, in a few moments, read out the profile of our first speaker. So the idea of the program, like we've already been told by the first person that spoke, is we try to support people in their goals and their dreams to try, study abroad, mostly to study abroad. In any part of the world you want to study, yeah, we try to support you in your dreams and in any way we could. And this year we have come bigger and better, and we have amazing people that are going to talk to you. They're going to share their experience, and most importantly, we'll have time for question and answers. And then after that, we also plan a session of mentorship for people that need maybe someone to support you or follow up on you during your academic pursuits. If you are trying to get a scholarship, some people are trying to get a PhD, you're trying to get a master's degree, all of that. So the first speaker is all the way from the United Kingdoms, and I'm going to be introducing her in a bit. Her name is Princess Bukola Oluide, and she, I think she's done now. She just finished her master's, I believe, from the University of Oxford in UK under the MasterCard scholarship. I'll just read our profile so you can know that the person that is going to be talking to you, so you can have an idea of if you have some questions, maybe you are, because I know she studied law, maybe you're a lawyer, you're also trying to ask, oh, how do I get these opportunities and all that you can know. So Bukola Akintola Ni Oluyede is a graduate of the University of Oxford, where she pursued the prestigious Bachelor of Civil Law, a master's program in law on a fully funded scholarship. Take note of that, earning the best performance prize in principles of financial regulation. She holds a first-class degree in law from Obafemi Awolowo University. That's huge in Nigeria. I mean, yeah, where she graduated in the top 1% of the class in over 400 students and won multiple prizes, including the Best Performance Award in LLB2 examination, and also the Glocks Best Graduating Female Award. Glocks does a lot of awards. That's amazing. And at the Nigerian Law School, she finished with a first class also. That's amazing also. And ranked among the top 2% of almost 6,000 candidates with distinction in all 5 courses. She notably became the first Michael Taiwo Law Scholar selected from over 8,000 applicants. Professionally, Bukola trained as an associate at Olaniwu Ajayi Legal Practice in one of West Africa's largest commercial law firms, where she advised clients in diverse practice areas. She's also the founder of the Agile Network, dedicated to empowering young African girls through mentorship and personal development. So this is a packed profile of someone we have for you. And I hope you take your time and listen and try to get one or two things that could help you in your dream and goal to study abroad. Thank you. And I would give to you, Bukola Princess. You're muted if you don't know here. Now, yes.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction. I'm sure you can hear me now.
Yes, we can. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. It's my pleasure to actually be here today, and it's my pleasure to be taking the first presentation of, or to be delivering the first speech in this event today. And I really hope we are all here to, I mean, I believe we are all here today to learn from one another. Excuse me, please, I'll just try to go. Okay. Okay. All right, so where do I start from? I think I'm just going to try to put my slides up so that I can follow the pattern I have arranged for this presentation, and to ensure that I do not take much time. So in that process, I'll be making any necessary introduction and also starting with my own testimonials just to kickstart the whole thing. So trying to see. Okay.
Are you able to share your screen? Let us know if you can share your screen. You're muted again.
Yes, I'm trying to pull up my slides.
Okay, good. While we are waiting for her to like the slides to come up, for anyone that is still having any troubles joining the meeting, you can probably send me an email. I'll drop my email. Maybe you have anyone, a friend of yours, or anyone trying to join the meeting. They cannot. I'm going to share my email here. You can send me an email like, oh, I cannot join, and then I would help them with the link.
Is Princess still online?
Yes, she's shared us.
Yes, she's
Okay.
still on the call.
Yeah, she's shared us.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm on the call trying to put this on slideshow mode. Hopefully you can see it.
Yeah, I think it's coming up.
We can see the screen, but it's not a slideshow. But I mean, if you cannot put it in slideshow, you can go on because it's clear for me.
Okay. Okay. So that's my internet.
I mean, if it's not okay, I think it's gonna go to perfect.
Okay, it's
Perfect.
good now. All right. I think I'll just start from there. Hello everyone. My name is Bukola. I'm Princess. I have several names, right? Whichever it is you prefer. I can be called by anyone. And I'm currently a graduate of the Masters in Law program from the University of Oxford. So I completed my Masters in Oxford just this August. I graduated in August, and I traveled down to the UK September. That was September last year. So I think just because I don't have much time, I'll try as much as possible to share my story while I take the whole presentation itself. So I think we're just going to be doing both side by side because I believe to make a very good presentation, it would be better to just share a very much personal experience, which is going to provide better guidance to whoever is going to be applying later on. So for my agenda, we're going to have these specific areas which we're going to be considering. Why study in the UK or Europe generally, top destinations and programs, funding and scholarship opportunities, the application process, and then success tips, and finally the question and answers. So, hold on, please. I'll just. All right. So, first of all, I know this is not an interactive session, and I don't know, I love interactive sessions. I would probably love it to be. But I would love to ask the participants or whoever is currently on this call, whether you're going to be answering this question yourself or you're just going to note it down for whatsoever purpose that's going to be. And that the question is, what does grad school mean to you? So starting with, for me, because the reason I'm going to start with this is because for grad school, you need to have a definite purpose as to why you are approaching this. Because even the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So first of all, you need to have a vision. So what's the vision? I want to study abroad. I want to study in the UK. I want to study in Europe. I want to take like my study global. I don't want to remain in Nigeria. I want to study abroad. So for me, study abroad meant, an opportunity for a better life. It meant, an opportunity to have access to better opportunities and an opportunity to see the world, basically. So, I mean, it can be any reason. It can be, as long as they are genuine reasons, obviously, and as Christians, good reasons, no bad ones, obviously. So, like, the most important thing for me is have that vision. That is, have the main reason why you think grad you think grad school is for you. Now I'm going to share a personal story from my hand. I usually tell people, for me, my grad school dream started at 100 level at Obafemi Awolowo University. So I did my undergrad back in OAU, Ile-Ife, Osun State, for context, right? So, and at that point in time, I had followed a number of profiles on LinkedIn. I know a number of people who had graduated with the best grades from my school in law, particularly. And I saw where they were. I saw what they were doing. I saw, oh, this is what these people are able to achieve. And I mean, as a result of good grades and all of that, which they had when they were in school. So I saw that as an opportunity to also pursue something similar. And, looking at those profiles, I realized that for me to be able to achieve this goal, I needed to have good grades, obviously. So you can ask, oh, how was she able to achieve these good grades and all of that? They were because I had specific goals in mind. I had those specific goals in mind, and those were the things that I was able to run with. Those were the things that helped me to pursue this goal. So one thing I usually say to people is I had a major goal in mind. And at the end of the day, this specific goal helped me achieve my lesser goals. So basically, I wanted to go to grad school. I wanted to study abroad. And because I wanted to study abroad, I needed to have good grades. So without study abroad, I was able to achieve good grades. So obviously, when you have a specific vision, most times it can be linked to many other things, many other achievements in your life, basically. So I think if you are not able to gain anything from this call or this meeting today, I think one thing I would advise anyone listening today to do is just to write a specific goal in mind and link your goal to as many things as possible, and it's going to become achievable. So what's yours? What does grad school mean to you? Does grad school mean an opportunity to japa? Does grad school mean an opportunity to find safer opportunities, more secured environment? Write that, what that means to you. Write it down, and that would give you a vision to run with. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in my introduction is dispensing and dispelling all pre-existing myths about grad schools, admissions, and opportunities. So several people have these myths. We have these assumptions that grad school, study abroad, getting to the UK. When I say grad school, I'm sorry, it's just a term that I'm so used to. So I mean studying abroad, getting graduate school opportunities. Now, when a number of people have these myths or assumptions that graduate schools is only meant for people with the best grades. Obviously, I had good grades. So I may not be the best person to say this, but then I'm still going to say it, right? And that's because there are several assumptions out there that if you don't have a first class, if you don't have distinctions, if you don't have the best grades, then you don't have the opportunities to study abroad. And that's a myth I want you to dispense with today. And that's because I have seen a number of people get these opportunities. I have seen a number of people testify to several opportunities without having the best grades. Obviously, people with the best grades, best undergraduate grades, will tell you they have it. They probably had it easier. That's a probability, right? However, there are several instances, there are several testimonies of people who did not have the best grades, who had second class or past second class lower, and even lower than that, are able to get into grad schools. Also, the myth that you can only there's always a second side to this thing. Then there's the myths from people who believe that once they have the best grades, then they already have a first class ticket to grad school. That's another myth, right? I usually tell people, if you want to get to grad school, if you want to get graduate school opportunities, be ready to put in the work, be ready to do the work, be ready to put in the time, because nothing is going to be offered to you on a platter. Nothing, absolutely nothing, right? So, obviously, there are people that would help you. Oh, you want to write personal statements, or you want to write scholarship essays, but there is no way you can achieve, in my opinion, obviously, there's no way you can achieve success in grad school opportunities without putting in the work. So if you are here today on this call and you are certain you want to pursue this goal, I think one thing you should have at the back of your mind is that sense of, oh, I am definitely going to be working. I am definitely going to have to put in the work and the time, because you will, right? So I'm going to go to the next slide because of our time. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about here is why study in UK or Europe. And the reason why I slashed UK or Europe is just because of the just because I would want to clarify what this means to a number of people who are definitely starting this this journey for the first time. Europe, on this call, in this meeting today, a number of people are going to be talking about other countries, other continents you can obviously explore for grad school opportunities. There's the US, there's Canada, but now specific to Europe. The UK, that's the United Kingdom, is in Europe, and there are several other countries within Europe as well, including the United Kingdom. We have Germany, we have France, we have Italy, we have Greece, we have Finland. So, and that's because the Europe generally is very much different from the European Union. So while the UK is, I'm just trying to provide a bit more context and try not to confuse whoever is on this call, as simple as possible. So while the UK is a member of Europe, is part of Europe, obviously, it is not a member of the European Union, and that's post-Brexit, obviously. So if you are making an application to Europe generally, UK inclusive, then if you are making an application to Europe, then you are making an application to many other countries, including the UK. But if you are making an application to the European Union, then those countries which they call the Schengen countries, those countries are specific to the Schengen area, specific to the European Union, and the UK is not part of them. So I'm going to try as much as possible on this call to cover areas, to cover study abroad in the UK, as well as Europe, as well as Europe generally. And when I talk about Europe, I'm including UK, but when I talk about the European Union, then UK excluded. So, there are several reasons why you can study, why you can decide to study in Europe or in the UK. And I've highlighted a couple of them. There may be more. World-class education. You've got a number of world-class institutions in the UK and in Europe. In Europe generally. Top institutions, top in the world, Times Education Classified. Most of these programs are taught in English. That's another opportunity you get. Most of them, probably not all. There are a number of scholarship and funding opportunities available in these institutions. And also the cultural diversity this offers they are innumerable. Travel opportunities as well. Travel, so many of us cannot testify to having, traveled outside Nigeria. If your goal obviously is to explore the world, grad school is an opportunity to do that. You can always have the opportunity. Also, the opportunity to just learn about different cultures, as I mentioned, as the cultural diversity, just to understand, what the world looks like. That's a goal you can always run with. Career and research opportunities. There's several diverse career opportunities out there, outside Nigeria, that you can explore outside Nigeria, obviously. Several research opportunities if you're a researcher. And also it offers a good quality of life. I don't know if I can say better, but a good quality of life. So, those are good reasons why anyone would want to study in Europe. And I think if anyone is currently interested pursuing this this goal, maybe one of these might be your reason for studying out there. Right. If you have any questions, I don't know if there's anything I probably have just covered based on my understanding of everyone's knowledge on Europe or the UK generally. So the next thing I'm going to be covering because of my time is the top destinations and programs in Europe. So most of the institutions that most people explore in Europe are UK institutions, country. UK, Germany, France, Netherlands. There are other ones, other notable options like Sweden, like Finland, like Switzerland, Italy, Spain, Belgium, among others. So I'm going to try to talk about, and the reason why I probably might have more how do I put it now? should I say, the ability or, okay, the reason why I might have more to say about these programs is because apart from my application to the UK, I obviously have had experience writing, experience advising and also, advising people on applications to other institutions in some of these countries. So I probably would say I have a little bit more knowledge and understanding of what's the grad school applications in these areas. So for me, putting in my application for grad school, I had applied specifically to both UK and the US actually. So I had applied to just 4 schools, UK, Oxford, and Cambridge, and then US, Harvard, and NYU. So even though I was admitted to most of these programs, I had selected Oxford because my primary goal was actually to attend the top institution in the world, especially for law. And that was the reason why I chose Oxford. I chose Oxford compared to the other programs. Okay, just trying to ensure I do not make a repetition of what I have here. So one thing I'm going to be addressing in this meeting is how to specifically select the particular institution or the particular country you're interested in based on my understanding. So for some of these institutions, for some of these countries, they have programs that are specific to them. So for instance, for someone who's interested in law, they would obviously want to explore a country like UK because the UK has several opportunities for such field of interest. Also, other courses like business, like finance, like computer science, public policy, among others. For Germany as well, Germany, as some of us would know on this call, has tuition-free education mostly. So most times you would hear that if you're going to Germany, most public universities do not charge tuition for such for most programs actually. So Germany is also very good in research and innovation, and also in these specific programs that I've highlighted here. France is a global hub for culture, fashion, and research. If you're into international relations, data science is a very good program. Also Netherlands, and there are also other notable options. I'm going to go on because there are lots I need to cover in the next slide. Now, I decided to put in funding and scholarship opportunities as primary because this is the area most people have issues with. In the latter part of my slides, I've got a specific slide that talks about the application process. So once I'm able to cover this portion, I'm going to go into that. Please let me know if I am running because I tend to be very fast. So now I'm going to be covering the funding and scholarship opportunities. Most often you would hear of people getting admission offers, getting admissions, and the only thing limiting or preventing them from accessing that opportunity is scholarship. As you well know, our currency is very much devalued, and studying abroad or studying in a country like UK with Naira is almost impossible, if not impossible for many. So I think one thing most people want access to when pursuing study abroad is scholarship or funding generally. And the reason why I've highlighted these opportunities is because I believe in one thing called scholarship stacking. And it is something I know that many people do not have an understanding of. And that's one thing I really want you to get. If at all you're going to get anything from this call today. All right. So there's diverse funding opportunities that you actually need to be aware of. And I don't know if I think I would have actually restructured my slide better if but I'm still going to follow. Now, one thing I usually prioritize, or I usually tell people whenever they are pursuing study abroad grad school, is do your research. And that's covered in the latter part of my slide. That's the first thing. Now, if you are pursuing grad school and you are not ready to do research, please stop. Don't even bother, because nobody is going to do your research for you. You don't you don't wait for people to tell you, oh, these are the list of schools, these are the list of scholarships that are available. You need to do the work. Get your laptop, get your phone, research. Grad school opportunities for law in the UK. We're going to get into that. No, now, because if you don't do your research, there's no way you'll be able to find out some opportunities that are available. And opportunities are available out there. You are the one that has not found such opportunities. There are several scholarship opportunities that are available to you that you are eligible for. But the only reason why you have not been able to access them is because you don't know about them. Information is key, information is power, but the only reason why you don't have access to that information is because you have not sought them out. Now, when I talk about these funding opportunities, many people actually do not, many people are not aware of them. Even some that you are aware of, you probably don't even know what the requirements are or how to access them. Now, when I talk about scholarship stacking, I mean gathering scholarship opportunities together is like putting one scholarship upon the other, to the extent that by the time you are pursuing that goal of studying abroad or studying in the UK, you have nothing less than 3 scholarship opportunities available to you to run whatever you're interested in. Now, the problem or the challenge many people have, or the mistake many people make is that they tend to focus on one particular scholarship opportunity. For example, I want to apply to the UK, I want to apply to Oxford, and I focus on, oh, I heard about Chevening. So the only thing I do is just focus on writing Chevening essays. I write 4 essays. I spend my whole day, my whole month, the whole of September writing Chevening essays. And at the end of the day, I put in my application, and that's all. I went to sleep and I'm waiting for Chevening to get back to me. And by the time Chevening get back to me, because obviously Chevening has over 60,000 people applying for this scholarship, and most times you would hear of them giving the scholarship to not more than 60 people in a year, if at most 100. And I don't think I've ever seen that 100. Now, at the end of the day, you've only applied to Chevening. Chevening did not come true. What other opportunity do you have available to you? None. I'm going to use myself, to me, not you, as Christians, so that we don't use words are powerful, obviously. Now, the only opportunity available at the end of the day to me, because I had only applied to Chevening, is none, right? But when you do the scholarship stacking, which is like an idea I'm giving to you now, you apply for different scholarship opportunities to the extent that if you get a rejection in one, you still have access to other scholarship opportunities. They may not all be fully funded, and that's what I'm going to be covering here. You may just get, let's say, partial scholarship from, forgive me, because I don't know any, I wouldn't say I have any idea of any partial scholarship on this list. So let's say, for instance, I get partial funding, and the amount I need to cover my study abroad or my study in the UK is £60,000. Now, I got £30,000 from Mr. A. I get £20,000 from Mr. B, £10,000 from Mr. C. It's still enough for me to cover my study abroad without the need for fully funded opportunities. But the only mistake many of us make is that we are always waiting for one direct scholarship or one direct opportunity to give us that fully funded scholarship that we're waiting for. So there's external general scholarship. These are scholarships that are not tied to a particular school, a course of study. They are open to all applicants. Anyone can apply. Chevening is such that whether you're going to Oxford, you're going to Cambridge, you're going to Edinburgh, whichever of these schools, if you apply to Chevening, what they need, because it's an external scholarship run by the government, because it is an external scholarship, obviously, there's no limitation. You apply, there's no limitation as to your course of study, no limitation as to race, as to your background. It's not limited to Nigerians, it's not limited to Africans, obviously. So that's an external general scholarship. So obviously you made your application, you applied to Chevening. while waiting, you have access to all other scholarship opportunities we are going to be talking about. Same for Fulbright. Actually, I shouldn't have covered Fulbright here because I'm obviously not talking about the US. But just to give you an example of what an external general scholarship is here. And there's that scholarship in Germany, external general to everybody, but external. Now, when I talk about internal general, it means that a scholarship that is internal, that is specific to a particular institution, that is specific to a particular school, specific to, let's say, for example, to Oxford, specific to Cambridge. Now, I'm highlighting the schools that are in the UK generally. A scholarship that is specific to France, specific to Germany, right? When I talk about general, it means that a number of people can apply from different courses, different background, race, gender. For example, Commonwealth Shared, MasterCard Foundation, Weidenfeld Hoffman. Another scholarship is this external specific. Excuse me, just trying to ensure that, okay. Another one is the external specific. This is a scholarship that is funded from an outside organization, but is limited to a particular field of study. And these are the type of scholarship that you will see that they have requirements. Oh, if you are not, this is a scholarship that is only limited to females. So obviously you are a man, you're not eligible to apply. Or this is a scholarship that is particular to Christians. Most times we don't have such scholarship that is particular to Christians, obviously. It applies to the other religion, Muslims. Also, like scholarship that are particular, there are different things, name it, different things that can be specific to you. There can be scholarships that are specific to your field of interest, to tech. There are scholarships that can be specific to, to your background. Oh, you are Black American, oh, you are Black Nigerian, oh, you are from, you are internally displaced. I don't think any of us are internally disabled. That can be the requirement. Oh, you are from Africa. That can be the specificity that you need to be qualified for this kind of scholarship. But if you're not aware that this kind of scholarships are possible, then you do not have access to them. Another one is the internal specific. This is internal, specific to a school, but it's also specific to you, to your background generally, and to a particular field of interest. That's, for example, I highlighted the Oxford BCL. For example, a scholarship that's particular to Germany, and it's only is specific to anybody applying in tech. That's what I mean by internal specific. Internal, only covered by a particular institution, and specific to different set of people. So, for example, the BCL is the master's program in law at Oxford. If you are applying for the master's program in criminology, you do not apply, even if you gain admission to Oxford. So there are particular scholarship like this that you do not have knowledge about, because you are only looking at external general scholarships, or you're only looking at external specific scholarships. But if you have access to this knowledge, you know that, oh, for example, there's academic future scholarship, which is specific to people who have lived, for example, in the UK for up to 3 years. This scholarship is applicable to them. There's the Gates Cambridge scholarship, for example. Now, one thing you need to know that there's a point of convergence among this scholarship. There can be a scholarship that is both internal specific and also external specific. So that's one thing I need to cover here. Then lastly on this slide, because I am actually trying so hard to run. But David, please let me know if I have exceeded my time, because I don't know. I'm just trying to run, really. All right, so the last one I'm covering here is dual specific. And this one is limited to a particular university and also like externally controlled. And when I mean externally, it's controlled by a particular body, partnership, or whatsoever. So, for example, the Rhodes Scholarship is by an external body and also administered by Oxford. So, for example, you gained admission to Oxford, you don't have any scholarship on ground. You have access to external general. For example, you can apply to Chevening. That's one scholarship. You have access to internal general. You can apply for the Commonwealth Share Scholarship. You can apply for the Weidenfeld Hoffman. External specific, you can apply for maybe World Bank Scholarship for Developing Studies if Oxford is one of those schools. Or if it is in the case of Cambridge, you can apply for this. Internal specific, excuse me. If your program is the BCL, then you know you qualify. That's internal specific. Now, if you qualify under this MasterCard AFOX by checking the requirements, who are the people that this scholarship applies to, then you know that you have like 5 different, and that's being specific about the scholarship itself, 5 different funding opportunities available to you. I'm going to move on, really. I really need to run. Now, these are me being specific as to some of these scholarships, their requirements, and the opportunities that they offer. So, for example, I got the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship from Oxford. Excuse me. I know that when I was putting in my application, so there are some scholarship opportunities that you would apply for before you put in your admission, before you put in your application for admission, obviously. Why there are some that's the other way around, whereby you need to apply to the school first before you apply for the scholarship opportunities. So mine was the other way. I had to apply for admission to Oxford first before I had access to apply for the scholarships, obviously. So while putting in the application, even if you would have toggled, like you would have ticked the scholarship you're interested in, or you'd have applied to them. Most times, for my MasterCard Foundation scholarship, I only had access to that after admission. That's because the MasterCard Foundation scholarship, which we call the MasterCard AFOX, because it is in conjunction with the African Oxford Initiative in Oxford. And the same applies to Cambridge, actually. But for Oxford, the scholarship is only, like, you would only be invited for the scholarship interview if you have been admitted to the program. If you have been admitted to Oxford, then you'll be invited for an interview. So for candidates who did not have, so for candidates who had applied to Oxford similarly, but did not get admitted, they have no access to apply for that scholarship at all. However, this is very much different from Cambridge. For Cambridge, you need to apply for the MasterCard Foundation scholarship before you even apply for admission to the school. So do you see why you need to do your research now? This is why you need to know the specificity, the specifics to each of these countries, to each of these institutions, such that you're able to, if you just assume that, MasterCard Foundation scholarship, I just need to wait until I get the admission, then you're losing out. For Edinburgh, what I had done, even though I didn't end up applying for admission to Edinburgh, I applied for the scholarship because for Edinburgh, there was a need to apply for the scholarship, the MasterCard Foundation scholarship first, before you apply for admission. So I was thinking I was going to put in an application to Edinburgh. So I submitted my application for the scholarship. I was invited for an interview that day, but I was at work, and there was no excuse I could give to my supervisor. I need to go and do a scholarship interview. And for me, Edinburgh was not at the top of my list. So I was like, I'm sorry, I turned down the scholarship interview. And that's because I knew that this was not top of my list. And also because the course that was offered at Edinburgh was not really a course I was interested in. It was a course that law students could actually apply for, but it was not specific to law. So that's me trying to give you, based on my experience, something I know that you can easily apply for and get, but you need to understand the specifics to this, the difference between each of these scholarships and the advantages to every of them. So for many of these scholarships, some of them are merit-based in terms of, your academic excellence. You are good, you get access, you get this scholarship. Or however, there are others that it's based on your need. So they would only access you based on, for example, for MasterCard, for Oxford, for the Oxford, what's it called? There are some scholarships that are, they are university scholarships, actually. That's scholarships that are awarded by the school itself, right? So for this scholarship, most times they would only give you that scholarship based on your need. You need this scholarship because they're going to give you a form most times. Fill this form based and for financial aid, basically. So fill this form, and most of the questions they would obviously ask: how many people are in your family? How many people do you feed daily? How many people are your dependents? Like specific questions just to test your financial aid, just to access your financial aid, basically. So if you qualify for this needs-based scholarship, then obviously you have access to them. When I finished my BCL, last year because I had several options. I was thinking maybe let's continue, let me do a PhD. I applied to Oxford again for a research program. I gained admission, I got scholarship, and it was on this needs-based scholarship because I obviously did not have access to MasterCard Foundation scholarship again. I get admission for this program, and I also gained the needs-based scholarship by filling this financial aid for, oh, I need money, and there are several people in my family that obviously I am catering to. So obviously I need money to be able to fund this program, right? So that's just giving you an example of some of the scholarships that you can have, that you can access. And most of this scholarship for the Mastercard Foundation, it was fully funded. I tell people the best scholarship you can have access to, it was my scholarship. I had the best scholarship in the world. I usually tell people that, and that's because it was fully funded. And now I'm sharing my story to you. And I need someone to actually be motivated, obviously. There's a better word I would have used for that. Now, it was fully funded, which means that it was every of my expenses were covered, tuition, everything, stipends, travel expenses to and fro. You would say that's still general. Most institutions cover that. My scholarship, this Mastercard AFOX, obviously. Mastercard AFOX would transport you to the UK. Before you get to the UK, they will send you like a card to apply for everything you need to apply for. Visa fees, tuberculosis test, this, that, like the card is already recharged. So you just need to use the card to pay in pounds. So once you are able to do that, when you get to the UK, they pick you up at the airport, pick you up and take you to Oxford. When you get to Oxford, they give you settling in allowance. You see that these things are not covered here. Settling in, Oxford, shop. You understand? It's not, sorry, I don't have money. I'm not rich. I'm just telling you what AFOX scholarship covers, because obviously the UK will still take some of this money from you. So now, right, then the settling in allowance, after that, then there's still the opportunity to, because most times there's still feeding opportunities. They will still arrange for feeding. Oh, please come and eat African food. We have provided African food for you every month. After that, there's still opportunity to apply for scholarship within. There's something called Tri-Fund. There was a time I wanted to travel back to go and see my husband in Nigeria. I applied for Tri-Fund and they gave me money, and I traveled to Nigeria. That is me telling, and it's not part of this tuition and stipend. I'm just trying to tell you that, see, these people will fund you, they will pay you to study, and you need to get access to these opportunities. And if you are not happy, my husband is saying I'm saying too much. Okay. All right. So please, you need to be supercharged about these opportunities. You need to seek them because they are available to you. And even for this scholarship, I know a number of people who did not have first class and still had access to this scholarship. So if you are limiting yourself and thinking, oh, I don't have the grades, see, what exactly do you have that is going to put you out there? What do you have that you think, even if I don't have the grades, I've got research experience that I can put forward that is going to make me stand out? I've got work experience, and if I can highlight this to the scholarship committee, they will definitely take me, and you need to be aware of that. Now, I'm going to skip some of the things I highlighted here. So for some of this scholarship, the same apply. There's the Chief Need Scholarship, write scholarship essays and interviews. There's the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, but David can give you more details about that. He's able to travel to at least 3 countries in Europe. 3 countries to have access to study opportunities. At first I used to think that Erasmus Mundus is actually now. I want to go to 3 different countries. Why am I limited to the UK? But David is enjoying. So please, if you want to travel to many other countries, like 3 countries at a time, please don't even try Mastercard. Go to Erasmus Mundus. That's where you should go. And the requirements are very simple. You have an undergraduate degree, motivation letter, write it. Recommendation letters, get them ready. I think I'm going to speak more about that in the application process section just because of my time. Oh my God, I've taken so much time. Specifics to this, if you need the slide, please let me know. Then you'll be able to have access to it. Then there are other opportunities that are not fully funded, like the partial, the need-based, graduate assistantship, then self-funding opportunities. Obviously, I know that people here would not have the need to self-fund. So I've also highlighted some of the scholarship opportunities that you can have access to, most of them in Europe generally. Now, the application process, I think after this slide, I've got one more, which is quite detailed. I'm almost done, I promise. Okay, now, so the application process is very, very important. And the reason why I highlight this is because you actually, like, if you don't, like, go through this process, especially this preliminary processes, then you have not started. So the first thing, as I said here, is for you to research, shortlist, identify those institutions. I've got a draft that I prepared here. If you can follow this table that I've prepared here, it would help, because you actually need to have a tracker. Now, identify the institutions that you are interested in. First of all, identify the country. Oh, I'm going to the UK. Oh, I'm going to the EU generally. I'm going to Paris, then France. I'm going to Germany. Identify these countries, be specific to them. Okay, once you have identified the countries, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of them, then you identify the universities, the programs in each of these schools. You check their websites. Please read websites, read university websites. I've seen a number of people come and ask me that I want to do masters in law. Do they accept what's it called? What are the requirements? What are you asking me? I mean, go and do your research. Every information you need is on the website. I'm serious. Every information you need is on the website. And most times our problem as Nigerians is that we don't read. Please read. Once you have gone through the website, you can now go and meet someone that's gotten that same, like, admission or scholarship. Then they will know that this person is really prepared. But don't go and meet people and then you are telling them to come and do the work for you. And does this program require high IELTS? Please do your work, do your assignments, check. Are there scholarship opportunities? How will you find out if you don't know, if you don't check them? Prepare the relevant documents. Some of them will require academic transcripts. You want to study abroad, you don't have your transcript right now, because it will still take you many weeks to access those transcripts. Degree certificate, CV, most of these things, I'm not going to talk about them. Get them ready. Review the relevant document. Pay your application. There's some that will require application fees. There are some that you can get application fee waivers. Highlight them. Get access to them. Once you're able to submit your application, to pay the application fee, you submit your application. I used to tell people, someone used to tell me that I'm kind of blessed, because in my life, I don't know, I don't think I've ever used my money to pay for anything grad school. When I was in law school and I was prepared, I knew that I wanted to apply to this school, and I wanted to try to I wanted to apply for a consulting, kind of like a school whereby they teach you how to apply for grad school, right? I didn't have the money there. I was still in law school, and I had a rich man beside me who is like doing his housemanship, who is currently my husband now. Actually, yeah, it was just 50K. Me or there lower. And at that time, I was like, I'm not going to do this. Somebody invested in me and paid the 50K. I had Sir Grace, I can see you. And he paid that 50K. And I can tell you that most of the things I know, some of the things, obviously, I'm not an ambassador for this. Some of the things I know, I was able to gain this knowledge by attending that. Obviously, I knew that I wanted to pay for this, like for this knowledge, but I didn't have the money. But someone invested in me. That's one. But I get Michael Taiwo scholarship. Ask Sister Grace. She's also a scholar. Sister Grace will tell you that Michael Taiwo will deposit a particular amount of money for you to apply for grad school. So I never used my money, and I applied to different schools, as I mentioned. At a point, I was not telling Michael Taiwo that I don't want to apply for this specific school because the deadline was already closed. Michael Taiwo was telling me that, see, this, because if you want to apply to the US, because he really wanted me to come to the US, if you want to apply to the US, you need to take the LSAC. It's called LSAC. And for LSAC, it's like, I don't know, I think it's a whole lot of money. And Michael Taiwo said, see, I know it's not covered in your scholarship application, but I'm going to fund it. Right, LSAC. I said, sir, I'm not going to US. I want to go to Oxford or Cambridge. He was ready to pay that money. And that's because I did my research. I found Michael Taiwo somewhere. I found Michael Taiwo and I said, there's something called Michael Taiwo and he can pay my application fee. And I applied. That's one. Apart from Michael Taiwo, I applied, when I wanted to apply to Cambridge, I realized that Cambridge has application fee mentorship program. If I can get this mentorship program, I wouldn't need to pay application fee to Cambridge. I applied. It's called ASCO. I got Cambridge. Same thing for Oxford. Now tell me what I use my Taiwo money for if I got application fee payment. Most of these schools, if you check, most of these schools, they don't waive application fees compared to the US. But Cambridge waived my application fee. They paid for me. Oxford did the same. And I had my Katawa scholarship. And that's because I did what my research and I found these opportunities. Use LinkedIn, use Google. Try to find these opportunities around you. Check the people that have gained these opportunities around you in your field of interest, and you have access to them. Now, I'm going to run. I'm so sorry. You can cover this while checking. Now, success tips: start early, submit a strong application. You have a high GPA, put it forward. You don't have a high GPA, put in your clear personal statement. Let your recommenders know as early as possible that, sir, I am applying to this school and I need recommendation. Please give me, because most of people do not know that recommendation is always the major challenge that they have. Clear recommendation letters, put in multiple applications. Don't limit yourself to one particular school. I used to call, there's something I call rich match safety. I didn't do the same thing, but if I'm going to apply, advise anybody, I would tell them, it's safe. Rich schools, I'm on number 3. Rich schools are schools that they're on the top of the list. They're like Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, they are at the top. Now, you know that you don't have the best GPA and you want to apply to Cambridge and you are desperate for Cambridge. I mean, I wouldn't discourage anyone, but obviously you check the eligibility requirements and they're telling you that for you to even gain admission into this school, you need a first class. Then you know that this is not for me. Except if Holy Spirit intervene, and Holy Spirit can intervene. This is not for me. So there are match schools. There are some schools that they are not even at the top of the list. But when you research them, when you do your research, you see that best schools in tech, Oxford is not there. Cambridge is not there. And most of these schools, they are specific to your course of interest. So that's why you need to check those schools. The match schools, they match you specifically. Those are the schools you know that when you apply, you have more probability of getting in. They are safety schools. Oh no, some of these schools are number 230 on the list of top schools in the world. And you're saying, I can't go to number 230. And yet, if you check the school that you went to in Nigeria, it's not even on the list. Right. So there are some of these schools, safety schools, that you know that when you apply to them, you have access to funding or you have access to gaining admission. Combine these schools, 2 rich schools, 2 safety schools, 2 match schools, apply to all of them and see if at all you are not going to get a rejection for every, if at all you're not going to get accepted, you get for one. You'll be accepted. Oh my God, I hate question. You'll be accepted for one of these programs. You'll be accepted to one of them. So highlight your impact. Emphasize what you think stands you out. How you think you can benefit your country or community, and you realize that you would have access to all of this. So please use a scholarship tracker. Use something like this to monitor your applications, and it would really, really help you. I have reference links if you have. Oh my God, I'm done. That was a lot.
Well,
David, I'm so sorry.
Thank you so
much. Well done.
I mean, that's a lot.
It was very loaded. Well done.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Esther Princess. That's really a whole lot of information. I mean, if you are on the chat and you are listening, please drop an emoji on the chat. Let us know that you are there, you're listening. I mean, there's so much information that she has dropped. I mean, I was speaking 1 or 2 things. One funny thing about all of this is I think I still reminded her, like in 2022 2021 while I was applying for Erasmus, I'd missed out on Erasmus in here earlier. So the next time I was applying, I actually reached out to, I don't know if she remembers, to help me review my SOP. I mean, because the point was, I'd done it before. I needed people that and I'd written stuff. I had an idea of how things were. And apparently she was not even in grad school by then. I think she was still in Nigeria. I think maybe law school or something. But then she reviewed my SOP, which got me my Erasmus, the so-called Erasmus Mundus scholarship, which takes you all around Europe. So you should, I mean, fortunately for us on this meeting, we also have, the interesting thing is the person that will be speaking to us from that got Erasmus was a part of this program last year, and he got Erasmus this year. So that shows you that if you follow the track, listen to everything everyone is saying, the opportunities are a lot. I mean, I'll give it to Princess in terms of research. She does her research. I mean, you can see from the things that she has said, there's a lot of opportunities. Don't think about maybe you have a second class or it's for first class. No, that's not true. There are lots of opportunities. I mean, we have a brother part of us that did not have a first class. He didn't even have a 2-1. I remember very well. I'm not going to mention his name. He's here. And he got to the US. So you can see that there are a lot of interesting things and also on funding, not paying this year. He got some funding in the US. So that shows you that it's not just about your grades alone, but it's about searching for the right thing. Just a few points I'll note from what she has said. Don't forget scholarship stacking. Don't look at only one scholarship. Remember that you should not look for fully funded alone. You can get partial funding and then it becomes a fully funded scholarship. You can get multiple scholarships and then it helps you to go on your plan. So without taking much of our time, I'll go to the next speaker. Also, just to put it out there, and I know some of you saw it, we plan on actually supporting a few people, maybe with grad school application fee, or maybe you want to write IELTS, but of course, we cannot support everyone. So we'll share a form after. And I mean, unfortunately for us, this is the first time we're doing this, but we'll try to support maybe 2 people. If you are fortunate, you are selected. We want to just show you that we really, really want you to pursue your goal of traveling to study or for your grad school and all of that. And in any way we can help, it would be nice. So right away, without further ado, I would go straight to the next speaker. So now you've heard from the UK, you've heard for you that you have always wanted to come to Europe. For me, for instance, I got to study in France, I studied in the UK, I studied in Netherlands and Sweden, and at some point I was also living in Netherlands for an internship. So it's like there's a lot of opportunities and all of those traveling. It was not my mother's money. My father is late, so there's no father to give me money. So it was all fully funded by the Erasmus Mundus and the European Union government. So straight up, I'll go to our next speaker. And the next speaker is all the way from Canada. If you say bonjour, I tell you bonjour, all the way from Canada. His name is Oluwasegun Talabi, doctor in view, Dr. Oluwasegun Talabi in view. And he's in Concord. He is currently in Concordia University in Canada. And for those that know, Canada is in the French region in Quebec. And just a brief detail about him. Oluwasegun Talabi holds a first-class bachelor's degree in computer engineering, also from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ife, Nigeria. He earned his master's in applied science in electrical and computer engineering from Concordia University in Montreal, Canada in 2025. Now he's currently pursuing a PhD in the same field. So that's why I said he's a doctor in view. He's a research assistant right now at the Network Intelligence and Innovation Laboratory in Concordia's Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and also serves as the MITAX research intern with Ericsson. That's big. Ericsson is big all around the world. And Oluwasegun has received several prestigious awards, including the MTN Science and Technology Award. For Nigerians, that's also a scholarship that we use to survive when we're in Nigeria, MTN scholarship. And also the Concordia University Merit Scholarship and the Concordia International Tuition Award of Excellence. In addition to his academic pursuits, he is a professional software engineer. He previously worked on Upperlink Digital Solutions, the technical partner to First Bank in Nigeria, where he provided innovative software solutions for over 2 years. And so today we'll be hearing from Oluwasegun Talabi all the way from Canada. He's going to share with us what are the opportunities that are available in Canada, in the US, and probably in Asia if you want to go to Asia. So over to you, Oluwasegun. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Paul.
You should give a clap. I need your chats on the chats. Clap, clap, so we can welcome, so that you can encourage our speakers, please. Yes, bienvenue, Dr. Talabi. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm trying to prepare my slides now to share. Yeah, so I will not be speaking about each year, obviously. So, I'll limit my presentation to US and Canada. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Please,
Yeah,
can you see my screen now?
I can see your screen. Yes.
You can see your
Okay,
screen, but it's not yet on slideshow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what about now?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, great.
It's on slideshow now. Okay. Okay, yeah, so as I said earlier, I will just be talking about, I will limit my talk to, this discussion to US and Canada, and we'll talk about the grad school. And actually, thanks to Sister Princess. So I think a lot of the things I would like or I will also be saying, she has already emphasized them well. So we'll just be running through some things, and also because of our time. So we'll be running through some things, and we also try to, if there are things that we need to also maybe lay some emphasis on, then while we also entertain questions afterward. So um, this discussion outline is going to be centered around securing admission to graduate school, the things you need to consider, the scholarship opportunities in US and Canada, to code emailing the professor. Yeah, I'll share a sample on code email sample. Then we'll also look at how to, we'll navigate graduate school websites. Yeah, so just like Sister Princess said, it's necessary to do the personal research. So and that's why we'll be going to navigating this graduate school website, because everything you need to know is on this website. Online, you can get any information. Just type scholarship opportunities in US, you get a lot of information, and you can narrow those information down to 2 or 3 things that you need to pursue. So, considering securing admission to graduate school, so there are things you need to consider. One of it is the course of study, the possible countries and schools, the admission timeline, how the securing admission and funding, the English test and other requirements, other exams, transcripts and result evaluation, recommendation letter, statement of purpose, application visa, application fee and study visa. So I will run through some of this, and while we move on to before we move on to the next thing, which is about the scholarship. Yeah. So the first thing before applying to a graduate school is you need to think about the course you want to study. Yeah. So actually, personally, right from undergraduate time, I already have a mindset or a conclusion on the course I will be pursuing. And fortunately for me, the opportunities that come my way actually align with those opportunities. And we don't predetermine goals and aspirations. So now you need to select the course you want to study, and it may align with the course you study in your undergraduate, or maybe you are trying to switch career. So, and to do this, of course, you will have some things to back it up. Then you need to select the countries of study, search for the school that offers the courses in the selected, and search for the school that offers the course in the selected country. So, and then you need to answer some why are you going to graduate school, or why this course, why US or Canada, and why the school you picked. So, because all of this, if you're able to answer all of these questions in your head, it will help you in your a lot in your application. It will help you a lot, especially when you start writing statement of purpose or personal statement. If you're able to settle this right, because all of these things, they are things that it helps to personalize anything you're trying to write. It separates your application from a generic application. So, and then you also need to look at the admission timeline. Yeah, so for fall intakes now, it's September, and this is the major time that people resume graduate school, September. And it's, as I said, it's necessary to start the application maybe, like, because as an international student, you may need to start like 10 to 12 months earlier. And if you want to start 10 to 12 months earlier, that's the application. You need to start getting your documents ready even way before then, because in some cases, visa application can take a long time. Like, it can take a while. So you need to, if you want to resume September next year now, you should have started preparing your documents for your application by now, and also plan to start your application latest by January. Latest, that's latest. You can even start now. So there's also winter intake, and in some cases, the winter intakes in some schools, they have limited program, and summer intake also, it's available for some courses. Because personally, I resumed in summer, but course-based students, don't resume in summer, and some courses too don't admit students in summer. So if you're applying for on scholarship, you need to check the deadline, and it varies, and start preparing the document at least a year in advance. So then, when you select the school, each school has requirements. I'll be taking us through the graduate school website. I've selected two schools, one from US and one from Canada. So, and we'll be seeing some of these things that I'm talking about as a requirement. Some schools, they say, okay, it's 3.0 over 4.0. That means maybe you need to ensure you meet the CGPA requirement. And in case you don't meet the requirement, there are things you can do. You can build your profile to complement for the CGPA deficit, in the sense that maybe you have professional experience, you have volunteering experience or leadership experience, or things you think can complement your the CGPA requirements for the course. So, and in some cases, you need to evaluate your transcript. So all of these things, you will see it on the school website. You may need to evaluate, because, for example, maybe in some schools they use 4.0 GPA. In Nigeria, we use 5.0. So you may need to evaluate your transcript to that equivalent. So yeah, that's on CGPA requirement. So, and you will need to get your transcript, exam and transcript. So for application, you will need IELTS, TOEFL, and in Canada, you're allowed to write SASP, which is an equivalent. And for US, you may need to write GRE, GMAT, and LSAT, as Princess talked about it for. And it depends on the course of study. So you need to have your transcript handy at this time. You need to have your transcript handy. You need to have your transcript handy. It's not negotiable. Like before I got admission, before I started even applying, I already have my transcript. So it helps your application. You can throw your transcript anywhere. So yeah, then recommendation letter. You need to select a referee that align with the application requirement. Some applications, they say, okay, you need a professional referee. Some they say, okay, two academic referee, one professional. Different. Some they specify, some they don't really specify. So in that case, so you need to select a referee that align with the application requirement and provide the timely information for your referee. And in fact, it is even better to actually select your referee before you put the referee's information on the web on our application website. It's necessary, so that you can agree with your referee, and please be picky when selecting your referee. And so you can also provide a sample reference letter. It's even necessary. Just provide the samples for them to, because it will take, most likely it's going to take a longer time if you want them to write it from scratch on their own. So, and follow up to ensure they don't miss the deadline. So yeah, statement of purpose. I thought I'll be able to get a sample statement of purpose and some of these recommendation letter and the likes. I don't know, maybe if I can get a sample before we send out the I believe maybe we'll be sending out the slides, but if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to attach a sample. Yeah, so but statement of purpose, it's this is what you use to sell yourself, and this is like you're advertising yourself. It's there are things that you need to consider in the statement: the introduction and personal background, your academic and professional experience. Why are you studying this course? Why this program? Why this school? Why are you selecting this school or even this country? Because sometimes I think in for my application, I need to talk about why I am coming to study in Canada, why I'm coming to study in this particular school, why this professor. So all of those things very important. So, and also, so you concluded that. Yeah, so in when you're applying to a graduate school, you may need to also pay application fee for, in US and Canada. I think in UK and some other, you have some European countries, you may not need to do that, but in US and Canada, most schools you have to pay application fee. So, but this application fee, it's not for, like, for example, I think some maybe 200, less than $200. Most application fee for Concordia, I think it's about $100 on Canadian dollar. So but some of these application fee are waived at on some maybe when you attend their open house, when you apply doing some application free week. But the trick there is that doing this free, trying to get a free thing is good, but sometimes you may need to pay some price. It's better you apply to school that are not like you do your homework, you do the necessary background work, and you apply to school that are not, I mean, that with when you pay application fee, because it's actually increases the chance, because many people will apply through the fee waiver. Yeah, many people will be applying, but you can, if you can limit your search and just target one or two. Of course, you need to apply to several schools, but there is limited funds to run this. So, and as Sister Princess has said, there are also some opportunities for sponsoring your application fee, just like the opportunity she got. So yeah, funding opportunities. Now, yeah. So for application, okay, I'm going to be talking about this part of the application, especially in Canada, where you need to get a research a professor before the school can grant you admission. So I'll be talking about it during this session. I will be talking about it during this session. So, funding and opportunity. In US and Canada, the funding and opportunity we can categorize them into three, though I'm going to pick them so there's scholarship, there's fellowship, and there's graduate assistantship. Now, and US and US and Canada, they are different. A lot of scholarship opportunity in US, in US schools. When you go to their website, you see opportunities. And just like I said the other time, you can go online and say scholarship opportunities in US. You get all the information you need, and you can streamline your search. Just picking one or two and see the requirements, see if you are eligible for the requirement. So these are some of them. There are several other ones. So I'll try to run an example with the Night NSC program. So, yeah. So Stanford Night NSC. So you need to check the eligibility, the criteria, and the dates and deadline. So let me see if I can. The link from here. Just give me a moment. So I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, your screen is visible. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is Stanford Night NSC. So this is specifically for Stanford University. So let's check out the eligibility. So I think there are four forms of eligibility. Is it that you're a student, you are applying concurrently with KHS, and you're applying for a full-time Stanford graduate degree, or you're already a student and you're applying for KHS, or you're a current Stanford PhD student in your first year enrollment, and you want to apply for KHS to start for your second year. So this eligibility, they are very, very important. These are the things. So obviously, you know that anybody that is going to pursue this scholarship is trying to apply to Stanford University. So then what are the criteria? Criteria, they are the things that they look at. Okay, 100 people applied. Oh, it's like, one of the things we need to look into is when you apply for a scholarship is what's the objective of the scholarship. Some scholarship they have objective, and some scholarship, she said earlier that there are different types of scholarship. Some are specific, like maybe they are for women, they are for people in maybe like for Asian countries, like different types of scholarship like that. So, and each of these scholarship, they have objective. So when you are packaging your application, you need to align your application with the objective of the scholarship. What are the things you have done that align with this objective? of the scholarship. For example, here they are think what are they are trying to look at your independence of thoughts. How do you demonstrate your you need to demonstrate intellectual ability. What have you done to demonstrate this? Purposeful leadership. So in your application, you don't just give a random application for this kind of scholarship. You need to be specific. You need to look at all of these requirements, and ensure you align your application to these requirements, and it's going to boost your chance. Then you look at the dates and deadline. Different I say different scholarship, they have their date and deadline. So I'm going to be using my department, electrical and computer engineering, as an example. Engineering, so electrical. Yeah, so now this scholarship is still open till December to 2025 for 2026 cohorts. So it's something you can explore if you are willing to. But you know that you will be intending to apply to Stanford University, and you need to check the eligibility of Stanford University itself. So to see if you are also eligible for Stanford University before you pursue this scholarship. So let me go back to my slide. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this is Stanford NSC for US. Also, I said there's scholarship and fellowship. And I'm picking scholarship and fellowship first. I will still talk about graduate assistance. Yeah, so for Canada, there are different, there are different scholarship opportunity also in Canada. Maybe they are not, they may not be as much as US, but um just like I listed here for US, there is university. When you check the university website, also you see you likely see scholarship opportunities. You likely see scholarship opportunities for in on the university website. Sure. So I need to be a little faster because I'm trying to check the time. So Canada, there are some there are federal government scholarship, yeah, provincial government. So in Canada, actually, there is a lot of the federal government, the provincial governments. When you are processing your application, you need to look at the province where the school you are applying to, where it's located, because actually the rules in Canada actually varies from province to province. Yes, it varies from province to province, and the variation can be a lot. For example, if you're applying to Quebec, before now, you don't if you're applying outside Quebec, you don't need a provincial attestation letter. But now actually they make it general. But these are just common differences. But there are application, there are federal government applications that are listed here. This is for social science and art. This is for science and engineering. This is for health, and they are all for masters and PhD. But some of them, maybe I don't know if I can. I will try to see if I can check the page. Yeah, so I don't need to check the page actually now because of the time. But some of these programs, you just need to check their requirements. What is the eligibility? What is what is the criteria? What are the things they are looking out for? Now, for all of this scholarship, actually, you will need to. They are research based. They are research based scholarship. And yeah, so I think I need to also point out in Canada, there is a distinction. There are two types of masters in Canada. There is masters for research based, and there is course based. So when I'm trying to when we're navigating the school website, we'll see that more. So there is course based and there is research based. Course based are not usually funded. They are not usually funded, but research based masters in Canada, there is almost like 70% chance that you get something from it. You get maybe a merit scholarship. You shall get something for research-based scholarship. So and all of these scholarships, they're actually research-based from federal and provincial government. They are trying to improve the research. They are trying to actually sponsor research in Canada. So that's the intention of it. So when you apply for this scholarship, you may need to maybe they require your research proposal. What have you done, and all of those things. So Then university-specific scholarship. So there are merit-based entrance awards and so on and so forth. There are also some external and third-party scholarship, like this MyTax that also on currently per Arbor, McKinsey. There are many other scholarship, and some of these scholarship even varies from province to province. Just like I said, in Canada, province rules change from province to province. So, like for example, this per Arbor is only available in Quebec, and some are available all around Canada. So now there are some tips you need to look at. She mentioned some, so I'll just quickly wrap up this. You need to start early your application for scholarship. Check specific university or scholarship websites, confirm the requirement and eligibility. Apply broadly, like you apply several into for several places. But while applying broadly, don't make your application specific. You need to check their requirement and align your application to the specific requirement. Avoid missing deadline or submitting complete application. Avoid generic personal statements that lack specificity or passion. Ensure your application profile align with the scholarship objective, and prepare a strong supportive material. So now for teaching assistantship. So in US actually, like you get a lot of, like most of the just like I was speaking with someone, like 80% of graduate students in US, they are on, like they have their graduate assistantship, like either as a TA, graduate administrative assistant, or as a research assistant. So, but for Canada, in most cases, in some schools actually, TA position don't come with your admission. So you apply for TA separately, but research assistant come with your admission. And some people also are able to also switch from course based to research based, but that's not a story for today. So now for teaching assistant, it's for US, just like I said, just check the school website and see what are the things they are offering their graduate students. Then you can move on from there. So for graduate administrative, so it's in line, it's the same. So but for research assistants, so that's when we'll be talking about code mailing professors. Now, actually, in Canada, actually, most of the graduate students, they are RAs, they are research assistants. Most of the graduate students, they are research assistants. So I can say 90, like 99%, because what research are you doing if you are not aligned signed to a professor? So now, and and to get this in some schools, you may need to get a supervisor's approval before school give you admission. I know in US, in some schools, they say, oh, you don't need this. They if you are able to get admission, they are going to assign you, I mean, to a supervisor. That's not a problem. And if the supervisor has funding, or the school already give you some funding, that's settled. But in Canada, it's a separate thing, like, because your money, the school may give you some scholarship as a research student, but you will be get your stipend is going to be coming from your supervisor's research funding, like research grants. So now you need to do a proper to send a cold email. You need to do a proper background check for the professor, and avoid sending generic email. Keep it simple and professional, and use a professional email. Use the professor's professional email address. So I will just quickly share. Just give me. I want to share this. I will not be able to go on full screen with this. Yes, I will just. Oh, this is not responding. So let me just quickly continue, and so that I will just. So the next thing we want to do, because of our time, is navigating. Yeah. So I've talked about this coding. So now the next thing is, how do you navigate a graduate school website? So what are you checking for? The available programs, the checking the general school requirements, the specific program requirement also. You need to check that. You need to check for available courses and their requirements, check for the available funding opportunity, check for the professor profile. And also, so I'll be taking two samples, one from US and one from US and one from Canada. So I'll be using the University of Alabama as a sample in US, and Concordia University in Canada. So okay, yeah, this is on now. This is up now. So Yeah, so this is sample code email to a professor. So I will just read it. Dear Professor XYZ, I'm so, and I'm writing to apply for a PhD research fellowship under his supervision. My research interest is in wireless communication with focus on the application of AI techniques for ultra low latency and energy efficient and reliable 5G and beyond service without compromising network safety. My motivation to work on this research team stems from the need for an innovative and practicable network architecture that is capable of supporting future communication network. I don't think I can complete reading this, but this is just now the first paragraph is trying to just give a summary of what you are trying to do, like the intention of the letter, then give a brief background or motivation about yourself. Then what have you done? These are the things that are here. Then talk about the skills you have. Then then a little bit about in this place what you have done. Ensure it align with the professor, and you also talk about a little about the professor's research. That you make it specific. Like, okay, you've done a little background check on the professor. What are the things you can talk about? Maybe, oh, I saw your work on this clinical and it motivates me on you get all those things. It makes your application stand out. And even if you are not just like someone advised, even if you are not applying for research assistant position in US for some schools that don't require, it's actually good to send cold emails to professor because it helps your applications, even your generic application, to stand out also. So then I think finally we'll be checking the graduate school website. Graduate school website. Let's start with university first with the University of Alabama. I believe you can see my screen. Maybe so that we'll all be on the same page. The University of Alabama. So you can see that we're all starting together afresh. Yeah. So I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay. Thank you. Let me remove this. Yeah, so what are you looking for out for in the school website? You want to check the courses they have. You want to check the admission requirements. So let's just go straight. So you can see here it's international graduate. It's well spelled out, and you don't even need to disturb yourself. So there are generic requirements. These are generic requirements. Admission requirement, English proficiency and score. Yeah, these are generic requirements, and there is a waiver. Yeah, for English speaking country, most times there is a waiver for English test. So, and Nigeria is listed as part of the English speaking country. So if you're a Nigerian, you don't need to write English test to apply for University of Alabama. So so you just need to, so this transcript requirements, the transcript requirements, and all of these things, new students. So now we want to check, because I want us to check professors. So we can go to academics. What are the courses they have? Program listing, graduate program listing. So I'm looking for electrical and computer engineering. That's electrical and computer engineering. Okay, so this is the department. So I'm going to check MSc. So you can see these are all the requirements that you need, like okay, application fee, English proficiency test, entrance exam, letter of recommendation. You can see these are the things we talk about. Yeah, your resume. Your resume is very important. But your resume, you need to uh maybe sometimes you may need to give all of those things to different people to review for you. Just like Paul David was saying the other time, but she had to give a statement of purpose to Sister Princess to review. I gave my statement of purpose to Paul David to different people also to review for me. So when I was doing my application, so statement of purpose, your GPA. So these are the specific course requirement. So you can see that it's just very easy to navigate. Yeah, so then um we want to also check the staffs and the staff. So and to do that, maybe let's go back and let's start from academics. Yes, academics, graduate school. Okay, graduate school. Okay, let me limit my search to engineering. Um, engineering. So, uh, so we want to check funding opportunities too. Yeah, I skipped that the other time. I think let me just go back to this. I just need to be very fast. Admission, international graduates. Okay, so now you see here, so program listing, paying for graduate school. So here you can see the if you click here and here, you see the amount for graduate school. I don't want to. So now potential source of funding, graduate assistantship. So if you click all of these things, you see the information that you need to get like graduate assistantship, for example. So the most common, and the thing is that some of these applications, some of these, you don't need to do special application for some of them. You don't need to. So it comes. It's you just should check the requirements. If you meet it, most times it comes with your admission. It comes with your admission. I believe Sister Great can be a can be a testament to that. So graduate faculties. I'm trying to see to locate. Okay. Now this is the student. Yeah, so let me just go straight to Concordia. There is okay, yeah. I'm trying to look at the faculties. I think I opened the faculties so that we can check the funding opportunities, because some of these, when you go to this website, some of these when you check the professors page, their faculties, some of them they have fundings. I even checked this University of Alabama this morning. I saw one of the professors have funding, but I did not save that. But let me just quickly go to. I can come back to this. Yeah, so let me just go back to the Concordia in Canada. So this is Concordia. So you can for admission, graduate school admission. So you can check for programs, explore our graduate school program. I am sorry if I'm a little bit fast, just because of our time. We need to speed up, and I think I'm sure I've used beyond my time. I'm sure I've used beyond my time. So this is uh yeah. So I said the other time that there are two programs, MESC.
Did you lose connection? I thought it was only me.
Yeah, since we lost connection. We lost
Yes.
connection.
Yeah, Coutinho. I think Coutinho has. Yeah, look at this man. So we go to his website.
Brother, we lost you for
Yeah.
a bit there, and your slides are not sharing anymore.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Enter our screen. Yeah, you can see my screen back now.
Yes, we
Can you see
can.
my screen now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Let me just go back one or two steps. But I was trying to navigate to some to the so this is where I think, yeah. So to navigate, so I'll check the faculty members. So you can see these are all the faculty members. So I will check. This is Cotillo. So now look at it. So each of these faculty members, they have their websites. So now, for example, so you can see here, this man is saying, I'm currently looking for dynamic and highly motivated students interested in pursuing PhD. So you can see that this man has an opening for a PhD. So and some have openings for masters also. Some you will see their website is not recently updated. Some, some, but some of them actually their website is updated. Some of them their website is updated. So so that's that. So you can check randomly. I mean, so you can see the research area of these professors. if it's aligned with your research area or what you, because electrical engineering is open, is general, but personally I'm in communication and using AI for optimizing telecommunication. So those are my research area: telecommunication, wireless network, digital communication, some things around that. So those are my area. So I can message Wala Amuda, I mean this professor, to just get, I mean, and you have to send, you may need to send as many as possible, especially in Canada actually. You when you are researching, when you're looking for research, you may need to send as many as possible. And what you need, and it can be quite challenging, but I can assure you that you just need a single yes. As soon as you can get, I'm back to the University of Alabama page now. So as soon as I believe we have already exhausted Concordia. Yeah. So there are research opportunities also in I mean, there are funding. See, Concordia website is actually even closer for to graduate tuition and fee award and funding. Just come here. So the funding is actually, it's we have the fund out of province fundings. Entrance award is, most schools, I mean, when you're getting admission, you'll be considered for entrance award. And this is why you need to apply early for your admission, because my PhD application, because I was trying to round up my master's and I need to switch immediately. My PhD application came late. So there are some scholarship that I was not considered for because my application came in late. So that is that. So there are external scholarship, like just like I said the other time, there are provincial governments, there are federal governments, there are also some other scholarship. So if you're able to navigate you can navigate this website, and you'll be able to get. As I said earlier, I think there was a professor I say in University of Alabama that has a funding. So if I can add that to the faculty and staff over sources. No, this is resources. So I can add that to my to the links, and you can get that after the key. So I think we have to pause here now, so that we can have some questions and our testimonials can also give their testimony. I believe you've learned one or two things, and in summary, the things I talked about, the things you need to, the documents you need to prepare for graduate schools, and I talked about the scholarship opportunities in US and Canada. I gave a sample code email, and also navigating. I talked about how you navigate a graduate school website. So thank you very much. Just like Sister Pisa said, please do all of these things. You need to do them yourself, because you can't give it to someone to do for you. Thank you very much. I wish you best of luck in your success in your application, and so thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope I am able to manage the time, but David, I did a lot of running.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you so much for your speech.
Thank you.
I mean, that was really nice. Right now we have had had conversations from the UK for those who want to study in UK and in Europe. And then also we've had things about US, Canada. Unfortunately, not today. Maybe in the future, we'll be able to also discuss opportunities in Asia. I also tell you the opportunities in Africa that people take advantage of. I have a friend of mine that did the Carnegie Mellon. He went to Carnegie Mellon in Rwanda under the I think it's Mandela Scholarship. There's a Nelson Mandela Scholarship in Africa, and that's in Africa. So like there's lots of opportunities. We need to take note that all these opportunities are there for you to take advantage of. And just to reiterate, like I said before, we really want to support your goals to study abroad, your dreams to go on that international adventure. We want to support it. So by the end of this meeting, so please stay on the Zoom, because we are going to share a form Because of course we cannot support everyone. So we are going to share a form where we check your answers and maybe we pick a few people and support if you need. But we need you to fill that form if you know that you need this for financial support. Because I mean, there are some of us that maybe you have a job, you have things that can help you to pursue your goals. But if you know you really need it, like you need the support, we would like to support someone that would really value and take advantage of the opportunity, maybe to do your IELTS or maybe for an application fee for one of the schools you're applying for. And yeah, also now we are going to the next section. It's going to be a short part of the meeting. Now we have had our main speakers now. And just to remind us, you can rewatch these videos on our YouTube. We'll share the YouTube channel after if you want to share with someone to also take advantage of the things that we've learned here. You can watch it on YouTube later. And that thing is which I would like to emphasize before I call on the next person. The next person is going to be a testimonial. And the people that are testimonials are also people that have just recently moved out of Nigeria. Like when I say recently, I mean maybe in last year. They've just moved out of Nigeria and they are pursuing their grad school. And coincidentally, there's one of the speakers that I'm very sure it was one of the testimonials. It was on this program last year and now he's in Europe. So that shows you that like stuff is happening. Like if you take it, it's more of you taking advantage of it, having the right information. For many of you, we have the profile. It's not the profile that is the problem. You just need to do the work. Like it's a lot of hard work, but I'm going to use myself as an example. Even though I graduated first class in OAU, top of my class, I got a lot of rejection still. For instance, I was looking at the night, what's it called? NSC scholarship that Broshem was showing. I applied to it, I got my rejection. Bunch of them that I got rejected and I applied to Chevening, got rejected. You think, oh, with your grades, some people will tell you like, oh, get out with your grades. So I mean, that's very important. So the next person is going to be a testimonial from the UK, all the way from Bradford in the United Kingdom. Bradford is close to Leeds, close to Manchester in the United Kingdom. And he will be sharing just in a few minutes his experience and any info that could help you. This is just to show you that these things are possible. And then why I like the next person's profile is that the scholarship he got is an individual scholarship from Nigeria. So it's technically funded by a Nigerian firm. So beyond international scholarships, there are in-house scholarships that I know about that also sponsor people to go study abroad. So, I mean, that shows that there's lots of opportunities. So the next speaker is Israel Mudioluamu Akinlose. He's a graduate of chemical engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University and in Ife, and is currently pursuing a master's degree in advanced chemical and petroleum engineering at the University of Bradford in the UK. And he's a recipient of the Nigerian AGIP Exploration Scholarship Scheme in 2024. And he has profound interest in the oil and gas sector, that's where the money is, of course. Oil and gas, as well as the renewable energy systems and sustainability. He's looking to build a career in that space that incorporates both areas of his interest. So we'll give Israel the floor to share with us any information that he thinks that, oh, this is how I went about it, this is what you should know. Thank you so much. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really grateful. So, thank you for having me in this year's edition of the SASP program. Okay, before I start, I would like to appreciate the house for taking of a small boy like me to encourage others also in assisting people in their pursuit for JATBA, their pursuit to study abroad. So, before I start, okay. So actually, as I said earlier, my own scholarship is not all these big names scholarship. So it's Agip, it's Agip. It's an oil company in Nigeria. So and I applied for the scholarship. I was not really as individually. I'm not really a person that carry that on my head like that. So I believe that wherever you are, you can make it. That's my own belief. But with family pressure, I had to, because yeah, try this thing, try this thing. So I tried it. I tried the scholarship. Actually, before that, I've actually all these Erasmus. I've applied for Erasmus too in year 2023, November to February 2024. When I was in service, I applied for Erasmus also, and I was rejected for. I had applied for like 4 courses or 5 courses. Everything was rejected. So that time I just gave up. I said, I beg, let's focus on life and work. Let's get experience and all that. But within the by the middle of next 2024, I saw some opportunities. There are some scholarships I also applied for PTDF, applied for Shell. I also applied for this one I got. So in my own line, I'm a chemical engineering line. So most of the scholarships were required you to study chemical engineering or petroleum engineering or mechanical engineering. So that was where I focused my energy on. Then okay. So while I was applying, the one thing that I did was that actually earlier I said I applied for Erasmus and all those. So one thing I did to actually help me in was that I built up my CV. Because when I compared with I have a friend who also got Erasmus the year before. So I checked the CV and I saw that my CV was actually low, was not too strong. So one thing is you have to try and build your CV, have a strong CV. So the way you can do this is you can take courses online. You all know Coursera, we know Udemy. There are opportunities for actually get financial aid on some of these platforms. So you can add that to your CV, those experiences you have. For example, I have interest in renewable energies and stuff like that. So what I did is I actually did almost 4 or 5 courses on renewable energy stuff like that, and added to my CV. So if you're in Nigeria, I don't know if there are volunteering opportunities to Nigeria, call it that you do on SDJ, what do you call it? So you do that, you can add it to your CV. There are different things you can do. But as they said earlier, as the two speakers have actually said, there are many opportunities for you. What you need to do is you need to put in the work. You need to do proper research. So you need to know which school you want to go to, the type of schools you want. Actually, what I wanted was I wanted UK schools because I already have someone in UK, so it was easier for me to come, settle down, and at least I have someone that will help me to do everything. So my interest was only UK. So every school I applied for was in UK. So I applied for 2 or 3 schools. I got 2 admissions while I was so in the process. So just know what you want, and as I said, always apply for as much as you can because for each scholarship there are millions applying for it, and they only take few. They only take few, like 60, 50 in Nigeria. In Africa, Africa has its own ration. Asia will have their own ration. This will have their own ration. So it's very competitive. It's very, very competitive, and the chances of you being selected is, let's be realistic, it's very slim. So I don't want to sugarcoat all that. God will help you. I know God will help you, but yeah, at least statistically, it's very slim for you to be picked. So what you need to do is you need to apply for as much as you can. So I like how the first speaker and second speaker have actually elaborated on this concept. So apply for as much as you can, do the best you can, update your CVs, your SOP. Let it be very strong. Meet friends, meet people that have gone ahead, people that are also applying together. One thing that will help you is don't apply alone. If it's possible, if you have people that you are together, that you're also chasing the same goal, join together, help yourselves. I'm doing this, I'm doing this. So that you know what you are doing. You know what you are doing together. This is my own SOP, this is my own CV. Be able to apply, be able to cross check, be able to help each other, meet seniors that have gone ahead and those things. So actually there's a lot involved in applying, in studying abroad, in getting scholarship abroad. There's a lot involved. But the things, as I said, you have to do your research, you have to put in the work. Don't just be pressing your phone and just be looking. You have to do active work. Search schools. Some schools actually require that you have IELTS. Some require that you have this. Some require specific conditions. Some will give you conditional offers that until you meet this, that's when you meet this offer. So these different things. So you need to know the schools that you're applying for or the scheme you're applying to. If it's Erasmus, if it's Chivney, DAAD, all those ones. So you have to know what you are getting yourself into. It's not, I say it's actually time consuming. It's very time consuming. Let's be realistic. You have to spend a lot of time with your system, going through this, doing Google, doing through schools, websites, going to reading. You have to get settled down and read some of those conditions. You have to jot it down, write it down. Erasmus, this is what they need. This is what this school needs. You have to plan ahead. Because one thing I did during my service, one thing I did was that I used my service money. I was saving it to do my national passport at that time. So that was my first point. Some of us don't have passport yet, and you're saying want to study abroad. You have passport. It's not that's it, you have not even started. So have your passport, get those things ready. Your transcript, start working on how to get them. If you have graduated, start working on. Don't let it be when you are applying or you are now rushing. No, get your transcript from the school now because it can take a lot of time. Because going to Senate, and if you are from where you're going to Senate, going to up and down, it can take time. Try and start the process now. So those documents you need, get them now. So and I've mentioned a lot of the scholarships already, so because of our time, I can't go over them. So what I would try to say is don't do it alone. You have people around you. This program has brought people that you can connect with. There are some organs here that they are very specialized in these things. So meet them, talk to them. This is what I want to do. And as Sister Princess said, don't come and say, hey, what is this requirement? Do it yourself. Show that you are interested in this thing. You understand? Show that you are interested in this thing, you want to do this thing. So I know another thing I would say is I've not really mentioned this morning. Hand it over to God because let's not lie. It's God. It's God. And people may say, yeah, I did this, I did that, but it's God. I know personally because we did the exam for the scholarship. I actually did the exam. I had to prepare for the exam also and read well so that all these are forgotten. I have to remember them. So all those things, you have to prepare well, but also you have to give it to God. As you're applying for this scholarship, be praying, God, I beg. This scholar, don't just God, I beg. Serious prayer, God, this is I know we are all Christians. Most of us are Christians, so I know you know how to pray to God. So take it to God. Take it to God. God will surely help you. So, but one thing is, what I advise you to do is, don't. If let's say assume you're not picked this year, that is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Please, it's not the end of the world. You can keep applying, but also in the process, be honestly, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If our board is not working, focus on Nigeria. Be doing the little you can do. Let your life be moving forward onto the point where the scholarship works on. Just don't put your eggs in Nigeria because Nigeria is not predictable. Nigeria is a very complicated place. So just try and uh, as balance both. As you're working in Nigeria, doing your work, learning skills to get by. Also can be applying abroad to move abroad. And if it's just if you're I know most of us, it's not really because we want to study if the point is chatba, not study. Most of us, let's not lie to ourselves. It's more of I want to chatba of Nigeria. Not because we want to do more masters or PhD somewhere. Some of us actually. So if it's that, you can there are other routes also. You can do work visa. You can get some jobs in UK. You can. So the other route. So don't just be limited. If it's Jatba or I'm not saying if it's study. If it's Jatba, the other route also to get. You can use work. You can use some other means. But if you study, this one is for study. So what you have to know what you want. That's it. You have to know what you want, and that is good. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. They all do help us. Well, I think that's of course of the time. I don't want to. No, that already the speakers have said most of it, and that's just what I would add. Just do your work. Do the research you need to do. Do it well. Do it well. The Lord will help us. So. The Lord that did it for us, we do it for you too. That's confidence we have in God. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Really grateful.
Thank you. I say amen to the prayers because maybe me so I can get bigger scholarships now. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. That's a prophet has prophesied that the God that has done it will do it for you. So say amen in the chat. I need you to say amen. Amen. So thank you so much, Mauricio, for that concise and a very nice discussion and encouragement for those that are seeking to pursue their graduate studies. So we move quickly. We have two more just to announce. We have just two more testimonials, and after that, we have some time for questions and answers. And then finally, we'll share a form. The form is for the support. It's for only those that need the support. It's a micro support, like it's just a support for we're not paying your tuition. Unfortunately, we don't have that money now. But I mean, we want to support you to either get your IELTS done. Some people, maybe the most important thing you need to do is maybe GMAT, whatever it is, maybe you want to apply for pay for some application fees. We could support a few people so that we can show you how much we want you to go. So the next testimonial is all the way from right now, I think it's in Portugal right now, in the European Union. So we have heard from people that live in the UK, you've heard from people that live in Canada, you've heard from Brazil in Bradford in the UK, but I'm bringing someone all the way from Portugal. When you hear Cristiano Ronaldo and Jesus, that's from Portugal. So the next speaker is Adibola Adidayo. He recently got the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, the big Erasmus Mundus scholarship. It's not a joke. And he's going to get the opportunity to study in Germany, in Portugal, and also in Spain. Just like you have already been told, that's one of the advantages of Erasmus. So Adebola Adedayo obtained a bachelor's degree in surveying and in geoinformatics from the University of Ilorin, somebody not from OAU finally, in Kwara State. And he has over 2 years of work experience spanning the oil and gas and urban city development sectors. Those of you in oil and gas on this meeting, start tapping, because I see a lot of oil and gas and urban city development sector. He previously worked with the developers of Gracefield Island, a smart city being developed on the Lagos Lagoon, where he utilized cutting-edge geospatial technology for infrastructure development. Adebola is a 2025 awardee of the prestigious Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree in Geospatial Technologies. I didn't say this also for Erasmus. When you finish Erasmus, you get not just 1 degree, not just 2 degrees, but 3 degrees. For me right now, I have 3 master's diploma. So hosted by 3 universities in Europe. So he's studying in 3 universities in Europe, like I've said, Germany, Portugal, and in Spain. He's dedicated to gaining more expertise in application of Earth observation and geospatial data analytics to support the SDGs and of the United Nations, particularly SDG 6, 11, and 13. So I give to you Adebola all the way from Portugal. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening.
Yes.
I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. We can hear you.
Yeah, all right. All right, thank you so much to the organizers of this program. It's such a privilege to share. All right, so just like most people who are on this program today, I was also a participant of this program last year. And honestly, while I was listening to the speakers last year, I was hopeful that by God's grace, one day I should probably have the opportunity to give my testimony too that, okay, yeah, I've gotten a scholarship and all. I mean, thankful to God that he indeed answered my prayers and all. So I'll just share my experience, basically, like my own personal story as regards getting the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. All right, so I finished NYSC in 2023, December 2023, and David, by the way, David is my cousin. And yeah, so David, so David reached out to me. That was December, like middle of December 2023. He reached out to me and was like, "Oh, do you know about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship?" I was like, "Yeah, I've heard about it briefly." And he told me about it, and I mean, I was really fascinated with the fact that I would have to study in multiple countries and multiple universities. Because for someone like me, I love exploring. I love looking beyond normal. I mean, it was just really fascinating that yes, it's beyond the regular having just a single master degree, but rather you would get to study in several universities and even have a multicultural perspective. So ideally, the program, or like David mentioned, my bachelor's degree was in surveying and geoinformatics from the prestigious University of Ilorin, Kwara State. And for me, I've always wanted to do my master's outside Nigeria, and it has always been around the geospatial space. So when they told me about the Erasmus Mundus program, it was in December, and ideally for my program, the deadline is usually January 15th of the next year. So David reached out to me, I think, towards the ending of December 2023, and he really wanted me to apply for Erasmus Mundus, and the deadline was supposed to be January 15th. So that was less than 1 month. Literally, in that end of 2023 and beginning of 2024, I used less than a month to prepare motivation statements, to craft out a Europa CV, because for Erasmus Mundus, the CV template that we use is by Europa. So I used less than a month to craft out my motivational statements, my CV. I had to reach out to my lecturers in less than a month to just try to see what I can come up with that application at that time. So when the decision came in the following year, which was 2024, I applied for 2 programs. One of the programs is the one I'm currently studying, which is MSc Geospatial Technologies. Then I applied for another program, which is very related to my course of study. Now, for the 2 programs, I fortunately got admissions for both of them, but I did not get funding. But I mean, the goal of applying to Erasmus is to get the full funding. I mean, where you'll be able to get monthly stipend and your visa is covered and all of that. Honestly, I was quite discouraged because it was more like my first time. I applied to two, which I received no, or what Nigerians would tag as receiving breakfast. Yeah, so I honestly I was very discouraged, but thank God for David. He encouraged me and he really motivated me to try again. And so I decided that yeah, I was going to apply. And I think sometime around this time next year, that was when this program also aired, and I listened to a lot of the speakers that spoke, and I took down a number of things. And I remember one of the things that was mentioned last year is that applying for grad school is like a full-time job, literally. Like it takes a lot of intentionality. So for me, in my head, I felt like my previous application was good, but the truth is I actually had to be better. I had to take more intentional steps, right, in applying. So I applied again in 2024 October, and I applied for two programs. I applied for MSc Geospatial Technologies, and I applied for Copernicus Master in Digital Health. Now, the surprising thing, or let me just say, which is also a testimony, is that I got two Erasmus programs, right? Now, one was fully funded, which is the one I'm studying now, MSc Geospatial Technologies, while the second one, the Copernicus Master in Digital Health, I got the partial funding. I mean, obviously, I was going to go for the full funding. But the point is, it just shows how resilience and perseverance is very, very essential. I mean, the previous year, I applied two programs. I got admission, but I didn't get funding at all. And I decided to apply again, and I got two programs, one funded and the other was a partial funding. So I will just mention a few things that I believe I did that probably made my second application stand out. Now, for Erasmus, like I said, it gives you the opportunity to study in more than one university, in at least two universities and at least two countries, basically. Now, one thing I would say is when it comes to applications to grad school, it's very important to pay attention to the instructions. For every program, they have their specific instructions. Now, the problem with a lot of us is that we don't have the patience. We would not want to take out time to to read the instructions, to understand the instructions. So what I would say is read, understand, and follow the program requirements and application instructions. Because trust me, in this part of the world, especially Europe, they are very, should I say, they follow all their instructions to the letter. They are very particular about the instructions they give. I remember there was a particular Erasmus program I wanted to apply for, but part of the instructions was that only people that had a first class in their undergraduate degree can apply. And the surprising thing is I did not have a first class degree. I had a second class upper, even though yes, my CGPA was a 4 point, but it just points to the fact that it doesn't necessarily mean that you must have a first class for you to get a global scholarship like the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. I had the two one, and yet I got an Erasmus scholarship. So, for instance, like that program I was talking about that is specified categorically that only people with first class degree should apply. If me that the two one I applied, I definitely would have not gotten it because it was stated clearly. So it's very important to read and follow the program requirements. Now, also, let me just point out that most of these scholarships are very competitive in the sense that you are competing locally and also competing globally because they're not the only Nigerian that is applying. There are a lot of other Nigerians that are applying. So what it means is, let's say you are applying for a computer science master degree scholarship. What it means is that you are actually competing with other Nigerians who are also applying for that particular program. So it just points to the fact that you need to put your best foot forward to get the best result. Then also I'll I'll talk about the motivation statement because one thing that helped me is that since David was an ex-Erasmus scholar, he helped in reviewing my motivation statements, and he made a lot of corrections. Now, like I said, David is actually my cousin, but him being my cousin did not allow me to exhibit what majority of us call C finish. He gave corrections, he gave instructions, and because I knew I had a goal, which was to get this Erasmus Mundus scholarship, I had to follow all of those things. When he said, okay, remove this, look at this, adjust this, I did not say, okay, because it's my cousin, just act anyhow. I had to obey. Let me just put it that way, and also follow all of the instructions and guidance he gave. Because I remember last week thereabout I made a post on LinkedIn like talking about the fact that I got an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, and a lot of people started reaching out to me via DM that, oh, I'll be applying this year and all of that. I would love you to guide me and stuff. Now, guiding is not a problem, but I think the main deal is you following the guidance, right? It's one thing for someone to guide you, to give you advice, to show you the ways. Another thing for you to walk in that way, right? So I'll just say once you have the opportunity to speak with people who are probably gone ahead and they give certain instructions, they give certain advices, it's just wisdom to follow through and all. So for my motivation statement, one thing I would say I spoke about is like my educational experience and my work experience, especially how it aligns with the program I wanted to apply for, right? I mean, you can actually do very well in school and you might have had a very good work experience, but if you don't link all of those experiences to the objectives of program you're applying for, you might not just get the best results. So it's very important to state how your educational background, your work experience aligns with the program, and also state your future goals. Now, for this part, your future goals and your career ambition, it has to be very substantial, which means that you must think deeply about what you want to do or what is your aim for applying for this program. Now, I understand that for quite a number of people, the reason why they are applying for scholarships is to jump. But trust me, if that is just your main reason or your only reason for applying, I think you might need to have a think. Because the truth is, most of the scholarships, when you eventually get them, it is not a child's play. For instance, I just arrived Europe, just it's 3 weeks now since I arrived Europe, and I can tell you that classes have been very intense. Like at a point, I had to just reflect and just see that all of those things I wrote in my motivational statement that, oh, I love to support the SDGs. It was as if it was looking at me in the face that, okay, you said this, now you must be ready to put in work. So the point is, even when scholarship comes eventually, you must be ready to put in the work, because it is not just a thing of, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, but your reasons have to be substantial and you must be ready to follow through them. Then also let me just talk quickly about CV. So during my application that got me the scholarship eventually, one thing I did was I added all the certifications I had gotten, because throughout 2024, like 2024 basically, that I had to apply like second time for Erasmus, I intentionally took online certifications that are quite related to the program I was pursuing. Now, aside just putting it on my CV that, oh, I have certification in this, I ensure that I attach links to the evidences of those certificates, such that once the admission is going through, like beyond just saying that, okay, I've written that I've gotten a certification in remote sensing or in Python, there's also a link that is attached to it where they can also see, prove that yes, indeed, this person actually has the certification. Then I'll just say, trust God and be very prayerful. Personally, I believe so much in the supremacy of God and the fact that God can actually through your scholarship journey. And the reason why I'm saying this is because even the program I am on currently, initially when the decision came, I was placed on reserve list. So on Erasmus, I'm not sure for all programs, but it's my program. There are like three categories of answers they give people. The first is, okay, they are giving you scholarship. Then the second category, they will just think that no, you are not getting the scholarship. Then there's a third category, they call it the reserve list. So the reserve list is like for people who they consider their applications to be very, very good, but because of the number of people that have applied and because they have a limit to the number of people they can take, they put such people on the reserve list. The people that they're giving the scholarship, if maybe somebody out of those people say that, okay, they are not interested in going from the program, they would now bring up someone from the reserve list to now get the scholarship. Now, that was the case for me. When the response came, I was placed on the reserve list. And honestly, I had even already given up that, oh, man, again, I'm not getting this scholarship to go again next year. I mean, not for a month later after that first response came, I got another email that, oh, somebody from the reserve list dropped, and you were somebody who had the scholarship initially dropped, and you were the next person on the reserve list. So therefore, congratulations, you are been awarded an Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So I mean, beyond all that, you do the effort and all, just trust God. And one thing I believe in is timing. Once God has said it's time, it's definitely time. And I look forward to hearing the testimonies of as many people who have listened to me. I hope I've been able to motivate you to some extent. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I had my name a lot, so my head was swelling a bit, like, hey, yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Deola. Like, I mean, even I am motivated. Like, the most important thing, like I said, is don't give up. Like, even the best of candidates, they get rejected. Initially when I left OAU, I thought with a first class, best graduating student, the sky is the starting point. Like, there's nobody that can reject me. But rejection settled and dealt with me for the first couple of years, and I got my own bit of it. So I understand, like, okay, rejection can be hard, but don't give up. So quickly, we're going to go to the next and final testimonial. But before I go on, please note that if you would be needing mentorship, you need somebody to review your SOP, you want somebody that can maybe give, please, I'm not someone that wants you to research and look for scholarships. No, you're already looking, you want to review your SOP, you want someone to give advice on, okay, I'm reaching out. So for instance, some people reach me and say, oh, I wrote a cold email, I got this response from the professor, how should I respond now? So for guidance like that, I'm going to share my email. We can recommend you to people that are in the line of what you're doing. We have a team of, we have a group where we have different people studying different lines. We have people in engineering, in health and health-related courses, hearts and all of that. So you can get some guidance. So we go to the final testimonial, and I want you to pay attention, even though it's the last one. I want you to pay attention very well, because when we finish this, if you have any questions, we're going to answer the questions. We are rounding up soon. And then finally also, we'll share a form. That's very important. And in that form, it is only for those that genuinely need support for their grad school application. Maybe you need support for your IELTS, you need support for all of that. We can get that for you. So last speaker is all the way from we're back to the US. Yes. And we're rounding up at the US. We are saying hello to Donald Trump in the US. And
Thank you for greeting him.
we have to respect the president of the US, Donald Trump. So the last speaker is Grace Badibo, and she's currently in Ohio State University. Also, she just moved to the US just this year. So that's also a sign today that it's still happening. I know many people say, oh, the US is blocking visa, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yes, it's quite difficult and a lot of things have changed, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just shows that you need to do more work. And like Debola said, grad school application is full-time job. If you really want to pursue it, you need to pursue it with all your heart. So Grace Badibo obtained a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University again, in Ilefe, Nigeria. She graduated with first class honors and ranked among the first top 4% in her class. She is a recipient of the Michael Taiwo Scholarship in the 2023 cohort, the one Princess spoke about, which played a pivotal role in supporting our graduate school application. So you can see that there are scholarships that can help you to apply for grad school. During the fall of 2025, on the application cycle, Grace applied to 7 universities in the United States. Now, take note, she applied to 7, and then she got 4, 3 fully funded and 1 partially funded. Finally, she decided to pursue a PhD in chemical engineering at the Ohio State University in Columbus. So we are really excited to hear your story. I mean, I'm emphasizing the fact that even with first class, you see her applying to 7 different grad schools in the US. And we are not talking about the rejections, but there are 3 rejections that are standing there. We have 4 that we accepted too. So that shows you that it's not just about your grades alone, but it's about hard work. So we have you, Grace. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
Okay. I prepared the slide, but I guess I'll just use it as a guide to speak. So I'm Grace. I'm currently at the Ohio State University, Columbus. And so basically, right, I started being serious with grad school application when I finished, when I graduated after the convocation ceremony. So so after the convocation, right, I got like I got 5 awards. So people are like, oh, Grace, you should go to grad school, you should go to grad school. Because initially, right, because undergrad was a bit more like, it was just like reading. So I was just like, I want to calm down first. So I was not really thinking about grad school. But then it was still at the back of my mind because it was just one of the things that, that if I want to do an extra degree, I don't want to do it in Nigeria. No. Is it outside or no extra degree at all? Right. So after then, but David was part of the people that reached out to me. Then I was like, oh, do. Then introduced me to another friend that is also doing chemical engineering, Erasmus scholar too. Although I did not eventually apply to Erasmus. So fast forward to 2023, right? I got the Michael Taiwo scholarship. And the interesting thing about getting Michael Taiwo scholarship then was that was my 3rd attempt. So I'd applied in my final year. I applied the 2nd time after graduation. I applied the 3rd time. At that 3rd time, I already gave up. That if I don't get it this year, that's it. I'm not applying again. And thankfully, I got it. So that's also to buttress the fact that sometimes rejection is a part of our journey and they are really painful, but you have to move on and you have to not take it too much to heart so that it doesn't dampen your morale to do what you need to do. So that same year, right, I started the application. Initially, I was looking at Canada schools, but then Canada is a bit different because you have to get a professor, like Bro Shegun mentioned. You have to get a professor that is interested in working with you. So you have to be cold emailing professors. And that's difficult because these professors, they see their emails every day. It's like a normal part of their routine, but they choose who to respond to. So it's like you can send several cold emails and not get a response. So that was quite difficult, right? And Canada did not typically give fully funded scholarships like the US. So it's like the US has more, but you don't have to speak to professors. For most schools, right? You don't have to email the professors to accept you before you can get into the program. But for most Canada schools, you need to get a professor. So it was Canada versus US, but eventually, right, after getting Michael Taiwo, just like Star Princess mentioned, right, Michael Taiwo is also in the US, so they're kind of very big on people coming to the US too. So my mentor was not directly Michael Taiwo, so I was not really interfacing with Michael Taiwo. And my mentor was like, oh, come to the US, blah, 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 blah. So last year I succumbed and I started my application and I applied to 8 schools in total. That was fall 2024. And sadly, all the 8 schools that applied, they just gave me love letter, bass goes. Man, I was pained. And I feel like throughout fall 2025 application, I was still pained. It was like, what did I do wrong? Blah, 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 blah. But then I'm grateful to I'm grateful to God for several people, especially my mentor, right? So she was very big on, okay, now you're going to do it differently. Initially, I did not, when I was doing for 2024, I did not write GRE. So she made sure that I wrote GRE the next year. That same year too, right? Michael Taiwo paid for Scholarships Cafe, masterclass for Scholarships Cafe, which is organized by Dr. Igbala Jobi. You can follow him on Twitter, on LinkedIn. They post scholarship-related content. Also, they have they have a website. I think the Scholarships Cafe too. You can create an account and then you'll be able to get information about scholarships available in different countries, because he's also big on getting people to study abroad. So for him, right, he started from Korea, then moved around, and is currently in Canada. So he also preaches the gospel of that Korean scholarship. So if you're interested, you can, if you check his page, you should be able to trace the exact Korean scholarship. But I know that he left to Korea first before he moved to Canada currently. So I attended the master class and he gave several tips, right, about the application process, which I applied most of them to my application this year. No, that'll be last year for fall 2025, which I'm currently on. So this year, right, my goal was to apply I was looking at 10 schools, but I wanted to do 8 in the US and few outside of the US, because I was like, okay, maybe the US doesn't want me. So I was thinking I would do Erasmus. But interestingly, right, usually, Roshegun talked about application deadline. So usually your deadline is between, some schools open as early as August, so maybe August 1st. So the first thing is to check when the application is open and when it's going to be closed. So as at December, I got my first admission offer December, and Erasmus is opening December. So it was like, there's no point. So like, at the point where people are still trying to round up applications, I got 3 offers in December, 3. So the first was a partial funding. The first partial funding I got was in December 5. I still remember I was coming back from work as I saw the email. And the interesting thing was that application, that was University of Tulsa. I applied, I think the review took like 2 weeks or less. As I saw the email like this, I was like, God, I beg, maybe it's another love letter again. Then I saw that I've been accepted. I'm like, wow. Then the second one came. Second one was an acceptance. I was like, good. Then the third one came. I think the third one came, it was December. So the third one came December. So it felt like there was no need to apply to Erasmus again, since I already have what I needed. And normally, based on the timeline, right, I was supposed to apply to Erasmus. I was supposed to start Erasmus application by December, since they are going to open between December and February. So I already have 3. Even the last school, I had 1 out of the 7 schools, right? The last school I applied to was Tufts, and I applied on the deadline. Not really because I already got admission, maybe. So the only reason why I eventually applied to it was because I already got I got application fee waiver, which is one of the things we already spoke about. So I requested for application fee waiver and they gave it to me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I could just apply since I'm not paying. And then my professors already submitted letters of recommendation and all. And already had everything set. It was just applying that was the issue, like submitting the application. So it just made sense to just apply since I'm not spending money. But eventually, they did not give me admission. But I was not paying because I already have what I want. So yeah, like I said, rejection is a part of everyday life. So I think the last offer I got, the final offer I got, which is the one I'm currently at, is Ohio State University, and that came in February. Yeah, he came in February. I think it was on a Sunday. Came in February. And also, because I already got 3 offers in December, right? Ohio State University requested for an interview, but it was not really a serious interview, sincerely. It was not as rigorous as some people had it. So I was just like, oh, I'll just go. No, I already have something at the back of my mind. I already have a fact. So whether I give you or you don't give me, I don't care. But they eventually did. And I loved their offer. That's why I'm here. So the other thing to prepare for, right, is interviews. So some schools, I don't think anybody mentioned this, some schools require you to do interview. Depending on the process, it might be very tedious or it might be very chilled like mine. So mine was just like a conversation with a member of the admissions committee, and she just basically asked me simple questions. What was like, she said she had already read my statement of purpose and all, and she just wanted to know a little bit about my background and what I would like to do in grad school, right? What research I would like to focus on. So I told her, she was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. She listed the available professors that she think I would fit with. And then she was like, oh, they don't have. So one of the big things why I chose Ohio State University was because I was not going to teach in my first year. So I was like, oh, nice. It's going to be nice to not teach first year and then just shift to second year. So I have good amount of time to like settle down before I start teaching assistant, because teaching assistant is typically stressful. So yeah, I think I mentioned the things that I did differently the second year, right? The most important thing was I was intentional about my school choice. So I made sure, like everybody has said, is a full-time job for like the whole of 2024. That was what I was doing. So it was like when I come back from work, that's the next thing you do. You do that work till like 12, you go and sleep, then you wake up the next day, go to work, come back, and the cycle continues like that. If you have free time during work, that's what you are doing. So it's a lot of work. And one of the headaches there is getting a school that you like and you think you are a fit for. Because you check on school one, they don't have, maybe they are offering application fee waiver, but they don't have a professor that are interested in working with you. Cancel it out. You check a school, it looks like you like it, but then when you check it again, it looks like I don't think I want to go here, so you cancel it out again. So it can be very stressful, but as long as you know that your goal is to go to grad school, you just have to put in the effort and keep pushing till you finally get the result. So I think someone else already mentioned it, right? Allow multiple people review your statement of purpose. That's also the thing I did the second year. It was not just my mentor that reviewed, several, no, maybe not several, like 2 or 3 extra persons. And the bad thing, or maybe the good thing, about people reviewing your statement of purpose, that sometimes it's just like the way maybe you do your projects after graduation, no, final year, right? And you've written chapter 1 to 5, and then your professor just cancels everything from beginning to end, put red pen, red pen, are just devastated. So sometimes feedbacks can be like that, and it's just like, where do I start from again? So they could be painful, but then you're going to accept it with good heart, knowing fully well that your goal is to get your documents in very good shape so that you can get to school. The other thing too with the US, this year, right, a good number of schools were waiving GRE, but I'd already written it. So even if they were waiving it, I still sent it to them. If there was an option to send the unofficial copy to them. And for TOEFL, someone was asking in the comment section, sincerely, some people did, but I don't think you need to do. Because TOEFL is also like $200. You could just keep that $200 and use it for some other part of the application process. Oh no. So I think I need to round up. Yeah. I think everybody has said basically everything I need to say. For the US, you don't need to email professors except you want to. You don't need to, just send in your application as soon as possible, and pray very well. I believe that the right time, and in the right place too, because it's a very important aspect. The right place, you get the right opportunity, and we'll celebrate you. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Sister Grace, for the detailed explanation and your testimony is really exciting that it can help people to like also see the opportunities that are available. So right now we go straight into questions. We don't want to waste anyone's time. But before I go that, I would just want to also add this. She said it already. I mean, sometimes I also think about when I review SOPs for people, I feel like reviewing SOP can be annoying. It's like somebody's correcting all the nice things that you have wrote, and this person tells you, remove this, remove this. It's really annoying. But you need to remember that they have it at the reason why they're doing that is because they want you to get those scholarships. So when you get someone to review, I remember one time I was applying for jobs and I was not getting anyone. And then someone tells me, it's your resume. I'm like, what do you mean it's my resume? I've reviewed the resume several times. But then when I calm down and I try to take the anger to the side and just try to listen, then I saw that, okay, this is something I have to update and that. So we go straight up to question and answers. Over to you, Statosen.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go straight to question and answers. First of all, I want to appreciate all the speakers, the testimonials. Thank you very much for doing a thorough job on explaining all the processes, and I hope people are encouraged to apply this year with ST opportunity and even in coming years. So I'm going to run through questions. I'm going to start with the questions in the chat, and if we still have time, then people can raise their hands and give them the floor to say their questions. I noticed that some questions have already been answered in the chat. So if yours has been answered, I would not be speaking. I won't be saying those questions again so that we can save time for those that have not been answered. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is from Olusheye. He mentions that he has completed an MSc in data science online in Nigeria and now wants to apply for PhD in North America, UK, and other countries. Will that be possible? Do those schools accept online masters? I am going to throw this question to Grace. I think you should answer that question. What do you think? Do you think that online masters is recognized for grad school?
I think the first thing, right, check the school that you're interested in applying to, and then reach out to them. Check the websites, like we said, check the websites properly, read and read again. Then if you feel like you are still not clear, go to the what's it called? Speak to it was one of the things that I had on my slide, right? Speak to the graduate program coordinator and just highlight your background and tell them that you're interested in applying. Are they going to admit you with this profile, or is your profile good enough? So they'll tell you yes or no. I also did that, and I think it saved me one rejection. So yeah, just reach out to the school.
Thank you very much, Sister Grace. Please be like every school, every department, every faculty has emails on their websites. Use it as liberally as possible. They will respond to you. Go straight to the source and get the right information from the source. It's always the advice. Thank you very much, Sister Grace. Next question is from Temi, and she says, what makes a strong recommendation letter for grad school? Should it be highlight technical skills, leadership? Like what should you highlight more? The technical skills, your leadership skills, or your academic ability? Is Sister Princess still on this call?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I know you review SOPs, so please take the floor.
Okay. I believe the question is what makes a strong recommendation letter. And I think the best recommendation letter is from someone who knows you very well, a professor or a lecturer who can speak as to your abilities, as to your academic excellence, as to your research experience, whichever the case may be. So if you have a list of recommenders or a list of referees who can potentially put forward a recommendation for you, I would advise you strategically pick or select those that you have a closer relationship with. Even though, let's say for instance, you have a professor as an option and a lecturer, and you know that a lecturer or just like someone that is not up to the level of that professor has a better relationship with you, I think I would still I would still go for the lecturer as opposed to the professor. However, you need to balance and try as much as possible to compare what the school exactly prioritize. Sometimes, some schools might even prioritize having a professor compared to someone who is at a lower level. So that's why you also need to be very much aware as to what is required. And also for me, and also for many applications I have seen, a good application, a good recommendation letter always required more details, specifics as to your experiences, specifics as to your experience, your research experience, your academic excellence, and their relationship with you, how you have worked with them, how you fared when you worked with them, when they worked alongside with you. And I believe that works better, yes.
Thank you very much, Sister Princess. I hope you got the answer to your question, Timmy. And now the next question, this has somewhat been answered, but I don't know, maybe could still get more help. Is there any scholarship opportunity? We have answered that there are lots of scholarship opportunities, but for someone who has a second class HND, you have an HND degree and you want to get scholarship opportunities. Someone asked this question earlier and I'll just give the answer. The answer was, you can get opportunities, reach out to the school. Sometimes you'll have to do West. If you're going to the US or Canada, for example, you have to do conversion. So you can convert your transcript to a degree standard and it may be accepted. But as much as possible, reach out to the schools you are applying for. Don't waste your application fee, please. It's expensive. So reach out to the school, get as much support as you need. There are some people, I've seen testimonies of people who went to the US on HND. Reach out to them on LinkedIn, connect with them, ask for what did they do differently to highlight themselves. And I believe that that would help you. Is there anyone that also wants to answer this question? Bragbenga, maybe?
Okay, thank you very much. So I mean, in addition to what you mentioned, we need to understand that the people reviewing all these applications are human beings, in the sense that even if you have a second class, or let's even assume you have a third class, but you have strength in other areas, I think a person will want to pay attention to that. So let's say you have second class, but you have strength you have research experience, or you have work experience in that's aligning to that goal, or even if it's not directly aligning, but something that complements that weakness. All right. So whatever weakness you have, whether your weakness is in, oh, I have second class, I have third class, ask yourself, what else can I add to my profile that will complement that weakness, or that that will help me to upgrade? Yours, it could be, you may need to even sometimes write WES, do WES evaluation to boost your CGPA up a bit to align with the US or with the Canadian system or something like that. So there will be always something. For some people, it may be GRE, so if you have a weakness somewhere, you want to look for something to complement it. I think that's the way I will answer that question. But there is always opportunity for anyone, whether as long as you graduated. I mean, they didn't kick you out of your undergraduate. There is opportunity, but you just need to do extra work more than somebody who had a first class or who had everything in their profile.
Thank you very much, Bragbenga. If you live an example, I had it too, and I had to do a lot of work to pad up my CV. I did a lot of publications. I published, did a lot of certification of courses. I also tried to put myself on to increase my advantage by learning the language, to apply for scholarships that people would ordinarily not apply for because they are running from the scholarship. So you just have to put in more work. You can't change your GPA. You can change the other things that you can do to make your CV, your profile more advantageous. So thank you very much, Bragbenga. Now, another person says, that's Maiwa. I studied political science at undergraduate level. When drafting my code email or thinking about my proposed research, is it okay to frame my focus around Nigeria or West Africa, or to better align it with the country where the school is located? Who am I going to give this to?
I think
But David, do you want to take that?
Bashegu can answer that. Bashegu
Bashegun. Where's Bashegun? Bashegun, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on the call. Yeah.
Yes, please. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I get it. I got a question. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, actually, preparing your research proposal, it depends on what you're applying for. For example, if you are trying to maybe, trying to, if you want to work with a professor, for example, most likely they will have a research grant, they have a research direction. So I think it may be good to look around that before writing a research proposal, because you want to align it with some specific goals. Yeah, but on the generic, if we are not looking out for any funds, if you are not looking out for any funds where you need to align your your research goal to the objective of that fund. So I think you can actually your research work can be on Africa. You can make a proposal on something that relates to Africa. It's actually well welcome. In fact, some research fund even outside the country they are researching on Africa. So as a case study. So it's very well welcome, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bert Shagun. There's a question in the comments about changing fields. So, for example, I have a bachelor's in business administration and I want to do my master's in the tech field. Will I be given admission? I'm going to try and just give a quick answer. I know a friend that did that. He ported from electrical to computer engineering. And what helped his profile a lot was that he had work experience in the field he wanted to pursue his PhD in. And he had gained the skill set that he needed to convince the admission team to take a chance on him. So you have to do more work than someone who has a bachelor's, but you must be able to prove that you are worth taking a chance on. I see Ola's hand up, but I'm going to take one more question before I give you the floor. For master's scholarship, do I need to have a research proposal? For master's scholarship, do I need to have a research proposal? Bashir, is Bashir on the call? Bashir Salami, can you speak? Okay, if you can't, but David,
I can
maybe you can answer it.
Okay, but bring
I am.
For masters, what I would say is that with it, whatever you want to apply to, is good to write a proposal. All right. For US, for instance, US, we usually ask for your statement of purpose, so you don't need. But out of that proposal, you can draw content to add up and make a statement of purpose. So a proposal will actually guide you. So it's going to be a good idea to have a proposal. I mean, that gives you a general view of your research. So whether masters or PhD, write a proposal, then whatever they now ask for, even if they ask for something else, then you can take content from your proposal.
All right, thank you very much, Babinga. Stabisi wants to add something to one of the questions. Before I take the last question, Stabisi, please, you have the floor. Stabisi, I can't hear you if you're speaking.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I want to attend to the question regarding Tutu, if you have a second class. Yes. So if you have a second class, you can still get an admission here, but I would want to talk from my own mistakes, basically, because I got to the US with a second class lower from IFE. So I think what I would tell you, what I would say is convert first to West to make your transcript look very good. So you have to do your West, because I did not do West for about 2-3 years and I was getting a lot of rejections. Not just rejections, I was also getting what's it called? I got admission but no funding. But when I converted to West, when I evaluated my transcript, and it looked better when it was over 4 compared to when it was over 5, and a lot of my C's turned B's, and that's one. And also, if you have a tutu, please don't look for a big school, because looking out for a big school would definitely lead to a lot of heartbreak and a lot of rejection. I know the place of faith. I know the place of God. This is what God is telling me, and this and this and that. Yes, but look for schools that at least they are in the US or wherever you're applying to, they have the standard, at least they can accept you. So I think, learning from my own mistakes, I applied to a lot of schools that I know that I can't even get accepted to, but because I love the course, I did this. But there are still lower schools in the US that, yes, they are not as big as all those renowned schools or things like that. But at least just look for all these schools, at least that you try to work with schools that have, some schools accept 2.75. Some over 4, some schools accept 2.5 over 4. So look for those schools, throw in your application, and I'm telling you that you would definitely get it. And those schools, although they are small, they have funding. I got my funding from Nigeria. I got accepted in a school in Nigeria. And also, you can also, and the question regarding your master's proposal, thesis proposal, yes, you can basically talk about your interest, but make sure your interest align with what the school has. It has to align with what the school has. And also, it doesn't also hurt to speak with professors, not just the graduate coordinator, because you can just send an email to the professor. Some professors will respond to you that no, let everything be, you can send your email to graduate professors or something, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to reach out to someone you know that, oh, I'm interested in this, your work. You can also reach out to them, and they can even put in words for you during what's it called? They can put in words for you during admission committee or something that, oh, this person reached out to me and I think I'm interested. So it doesn't really hurt to reach out to faculties. It doesn't hurt to reach out to professors aside the graduate coordinator. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Bisi, for that addition. I hope that the person that asked the question has gotten their answer. So taking one final question, okay, I see that Sister Grace has somewhat answered the question, so I'm just going to ask the second one. And the person said that, 1 minute, is it an advantage if you already have 1 or 2 masters before applying for scholarships? Like if you want to apply for scholarship, but you already have a master's or 2, does it work to your advantage? Don't know if I don't think any of us was in that situation, but David, just go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to say something quickly about that. Having a master's is not a problem because I know that while I was doing my Erasmus masters, I had 2 people in my class that already had master's degree. So apparently the master's degree they already did was a good show of what they already know. So sometimes maybe you have a master's in Nigeria and you want to pursue another master's in maybe the US or Canada. It could be useful, especially when you did a master's that you did a lot of research work. It shows that you have a research background. It shows how much stuff you have done. So, I mean, it's mostly a positive. It's never a negative having already a master's degree. So there's no point where it's a negative. But I also had this. I have shared a form on the chat for anyone that needs support for we just want you to answer the form. Like I said, not for everyone, just for people that need support. And then specifically also, if you want mentorship, like if you have a career, your area of study, you want a mentor, we can get you someone. Just send me an email on the mail I sent, and we would find someone that is in your line that can guide you and give you some advice on what you should need to do. So that's it. I think we can end the question because we don't have time. We're going to round up now. So I'm going to hand over
Thank you very much.
to Salami to round up the meeting since he's back here.
All right. Thank you very much, Bro David. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you, Sister Grace. Thank you, Bro Shegun. Thank you, Sister Princess. Thank you, Bro Israel. Thank you, Bro Adedayo. And thank you also to Sister Tosin. Thank you, Bro Benga. Thank you to all the coordinators in general, and Bro David for an excellent event, for putting all this together and for coordinating it as well. And also to everyone that has attended, thank you so much. This is for everyone, but we want to make sure that we pour our hearts out to you and hoping that you would gain 1 or 2 things to run with, and that you can also share your testimony to your family members. And also, if Jesus tarries next year as well, you can also come on this program to also share your testimony as someone that has benefited from this program. Thank you for attending. Just to emphasize what Brother David has said again, please and please fill the form if you need the support on the chat. The link is on the chat. If you don't have it, you can check again now or reach out to Brother David. Also for the mentorship, please reach out to him. Thank you everyone for attending once again. Have a good rest of your day. But before we go, I'll just want to pray. We started with prayer and we need to end with prayer as well. Our Father and our God, we say thank you for your loving grace over us. Thank you for this event that you started with us and you are also ending with us. Thank you because you made everything go according to plan. It's not by our power, not by our might, but by your spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for the speakers. Thank you for the listeners. Thank you because we have not come to waste our time, but we have come to hear what you want to say through the speakers that we may run with in our lives, in our careers, in our educations, that we may attain and achieve that which you have put us on this earth to achieve. I pray that everyone that has listened today, I pray you would expand the word upon their hearts, that they will run with it, that they would go with everything that has been said today, and that they will achieve their desire either to study abroad or to continue their career, that they would achieve in the name of Jesus. Thank you for answered prayers. I will commit the rest of our weekend to your hand. Take absolute control. Thank you for answered prayers. For in Jesus' mighty and most exalted name we have prayed. Amen. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Night,
Thank you for
everyone.
coming. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.